Yes.
What is up, you beautiful bastards? It is the Buckland and Brooklyn Vale. It is 9:02 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That means only one thing: that Late Night with Take 3 is live, episode number 48. We are talking about favorite ensemble movies today. That is our big theme with the release of Bad Times at the El Royale. I have a stacked panel today. I do have a late person. He is picking up Tim's for us, so he'll be about a half hour late or so. But I'm going to run through the panel as we have it right now. Fellow Take 3 member, fellow Canadian. I defeated him last week for the championship. Sandy the Sandman Robinson. How are you doing today?
I was robbed. I'm doing great. This is always one of the highlights of my week to be here with you guys. And yeah, you're right. We got a stacked cast with us today, and let's get into it.
All right. Fellow Take 3 member, he is considered the bridesmaid on the show. So close to getting that title, but always inches away. Matt Kearns. Matt, how you doing today?
Always inches away. I'm 4. I'm doing great. Doing great tonight. I'm hoping that my roommate and his friends keep quiet until their segment comes up, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Hopefully there isn't too many Millers in the closet. Also joining us today, making his return, he is a former Late Night with Take 3 mini speedrun debate champion of the Worldwide Movie Games Association of America. He is also the question writer at Jukebox Trivia. Matthew Rosa. Matthew, how you doing today, buddy?
I am doing absolutely lovely. Just got back from a fun little camping trip just in time for this lovely little show.
Who the fuck camps in October? And our
Me.
special.
I'm trying to get killed by a headless horseman.
I played softball last week, and I thought that was crazy enough. But actually, like camping, yeah.
I want that to be a meme. Who goes camping in October?
I'm sure the great Jeremy Hastings could turn that into a GIF if we asked him politely. And our guest today, you would have saw him last week with his teammate Mike Kalinowski. Corruption taking on Inky and the Brain. He is a fellow fan leaguer like us. He was actually in the very first match of Jukebox Trivia. That is the Titan, the Cobra, the wearer of black hats, Chance Ellison. Chance, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. All right. So we'll get right into it. Usually when we have like a special guest, we try to interview them. And what a perfect time to interview Chance. He's coming off of. I think we're fine with spoilers now. A big W over Inky and the Brain. Against Rachel Silvestrini and Devin Stewart, who I thought had a really good performance. I think Rachel has a lot of potential. She's like a couple of W's away from being another Rachel Cushing type, and I think Devin is another person that you can add in.
Will Smith.
Yeah, he's a Coors Light away from being a Wildberry for me. But Chance, I want to ask you, as somebody who has been so successful in these fan leagues, whether it's WWMT, Full Metal, Multiplex, Jukebox, how was the transition from coming to the online leagues where you're just sitting in a chair looking at a camera to now you're like at a table with the other competitors in front of actual cameras and having an audience watch you? What was that transition like?
For me personally, it wasn't all that big a change. Like it's just answering questions. At least it's the way I saw it. Like you go in, you focus on what you know, you answer, you win, you go home. So it's like that whenever match I play. This one in particular, you can clearly tell the crowd was trying to shake me because I did have hype going in, but like the actual lights didn't get to me as much as they do to most people. Maybe that's just like me and it's the way I take things because like I used to play a lot of sports, so like the difference is very slim.
Yeah. One of the things that I was kind of surprised about right out of the gate is they were chanting overrated pretty hard, and I wasn't sure if it was like a group consensus till they chant that, or if it was like say it was like a John Roca or a Bibiani who had like actually done their research about you, and then we're just like, no, this guy doesn't actually like back up what he does, and then like other people were just kind of following him along. So was there like one or two people in particular who were kind of starting that chant, or was it sort of like a all together?
I wasn't paying attention to who was starting it. I just heard a flood of just chanting, going on while I was doing literally anything at my first match.
Yeah. So yeah, you were also paired up with Mike Kalinowski, somebody who was very big in the storylines, obviously with corruption and anarchy, and then like the IG tournament was kind of strung together by him. And then you have Ken Knapsack, I think one of the greatest managers, as your mouthpiece. What was it like to have people like Ken Knapsack and Mike Kalinowski talk you up? Was it humbling at all? Or?
Oh no, it's fantastic. I mean, Ken and Mike both great dudes. I'm happy to have them. Excuse me, happy to have them on my teams because, like, I mean, you look at Mike, the stuff he's done this season. It's just absolutely incredible. And Ken, like, he's always on it. Like every time he just like starts talking, I have to like literally like just think about it and stop myself and just like not let my jaw drop, just because like every time like I told Ken this, I'm like, you're so fucking good at that, man. Like it's really incredible. Like these two guys, they're some of the best in the league. Some of the best people I could have gotten paired with in this tournament. So I'm perfectly happy.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. Like when you think about it, like a year ago, like a lot of these leagues were just starting. I know myself, Jukebox Trivia started in December. Full Metal, I know started this month. Yeah. So if you could give any advice to yourself a year ago, or if you heard a year ago, yeah, you're going to be in a Schmodown taking on John Roca and Dan Burrow, what would you have said to yourself?
I would have said keep dreaming, pal. That within a year, no, that didn't happen. But yeah, it's from looking at where I started to where I am now. It's a crazy leap, and it's a leap that I never thought I'd get to take. You know, it's amazing that I was approached to, just come into this whole new world, come to this whole new journey, come to the big leagues. I'm forever grateful, and yeah, it's a wonderful experience.
All right. I'm actually now going to open it up to the panel. If you guys have any questions about the experience, yeah.
Oh, I have many, but Matthew, go ahead.
I think like my only question is, so when you heard your music, you had never like done an entrance before, right? And you had to seem somewhat cool, but you guys mostly just did a walkout. Like how were you coordinating all that? Did you guys like agree on who was going to walk out first? Because didn't you end up walking out in the back of the pack?
Yeah, and that was the whole plan thing. I was supposed to go out last. Ken goes out first, and Mike. Well, at least our first time was Ken, then Mike, and then me. Because I'm like the mystery of this whole thing. So
so Ken could do his pose.
Yeah, as far as the whole like entrance thing, it's part of a whole arc. We're corruption. We come in, we wreck shop, we leave. That's what we do.
All right. I think Sandy has a couple questions there.
All right. So we were on last night for the watch along, and we got sort of involved in this question, and I wanted to ask you this question for sure. What movie that you went to the theater to go and see made you fall in love with movies? Because you're so young and you're so good at what you do. Like, I mean, an absolute, like, I've been around you since the beginning of this, your career in movie trivia, and how good you are is scary. So what movie that you went to the theater made you fall in love with movies?
Oh, that's a great question. Okay. Okay, so when I grew up in El Paso, and we have this like old timey theater. It's called the Plaza, and during the summer they have this like classic film festival where they just like screen a bunch of like old movies, and you get to watch them on like a great big giant screen. That's where I got to see like a lot of classics that become my favorite films just for the very first time. And I remember one summer I went. It was my favorite film festival because that was summer I saw Jaws and I saw Psycho for the very first time on a giant screen. And just those two movies, I was just like taken aback by the artistry. And like keep in mind, I've been watching movies for like years before this. Like I knew how to work a VHS before I even turned 2 years old. And it was but those two movies, whenever I think of like what made me just like love cinema, like that summer, those two films, that was it. That was what made me just go and appreciate like all of these like classic films and go back and like study all these, this filmography, certain directors, certain writers, certain actors, and just like it just had me on a deep dive, and that's where it really all started.
Nice. Okay, I've got to listen. I have about 90,000 questions because I love you so much. So, but this next question that I'm gonna ask is strictly your mom. Like, how cool is your mom, right? I mean, like, you dropped that post and that picture of the text you said there, and your mom just like, you know what, keeping you real, keeping you grounded. What does she mean to you?
I love my mother. She's one of the most important people my entire life. She's given everything she can to me for the past 21 years, and yeah, I appreciate her immensely for that. And really, she was she was one of the ones that got me into ultimately watching. Like when I was younger, and I used to wear out my tapes, and I wore out my tapes of Toy Story and Bugs Life, which I did do very often. She was always there to buy me new copies. I always love talking to her about movies and like showing her new stuff. Cause my entire family, we're all giant pop culture junkies, which is also what helps me in a lot of these trivia matches. So, nice. Yeah, I mean, my family just has like an immense appreciation for. We all just like we love movies. It's one of our favorite things. So, yeah, my mother's amazing, and she's really happy that I get to do this.
Awesome. Well, I on behalf of myself and Full Metal Media, we're all proud of you. So keep going out there kicking ass, because I got you guys going all the way and winning the tag team tournament. So don't bust my bracket, brother.
I want that.
You're gonna have to beat Snyder and Draco in my bracket for that one. But it's definitely possible. Kearns, any questions? Any questions for Chance?
I guess the only question I have is for you and Mike. We've seen Devon play, of course, with the Kingsmen, but with Rachel, how do you guys prepare for an unknown element? Like, how do you prepare for someone who hasn't played in the Shimonon yet, to my knowledge, has been on like movie fights or something? How do you prepare for someone who you don't know what their strengths or weaknesses could be?
Devon has never played before.
Oh yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Devin never played.
He was the debut.
Yeah, completely new team. But we couldn't really prepare for what not to give them,
mm-hmm.
or we couldn't prepare for our team. All we had to do is focus on our game. What we do in certain situations within the match.
Mm-hmm.
So that's with this particular team. We couldn't really, prep too much for them. We just had to worry about like ourselves, what we were going to do in like rounds 2 and 3,
mm-hmm.
and like, how we're going to use repeats and all that.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I'm
usually more prepared for interviews with Shimonon people.
I don't see any questions in the chat, so we'll move into one of my favorite things. We did this last time with Winston, and we've been continuing it since Winston's been on here, and it's one of my favorite segments of the show. That is a game called Press Conference. For those of you who have not watched one of the greatest shows ever, Who's Line Is It Anyway, how it would work is Colin Makarila would grab his podium, and he would go to the main stage and he would call a press conference for all the reporters to ask him about his character. But he had no idea what his character was or what he was announcing.
Okay.
So our presenter today, he is going to be the holder of this press conference, and myself, Sandy, Matt Kearns, and Matt Rosa are going to interview him. And I just want to double check that our interviewers today got the message that I sent in the late night group.
Yes, of course. Very excited about this moment.
Yeah, this is a true great moment. So Chance, without further ado, call this press conference to order.
Gentlemen, I'd like to thank you all for having me here today. I will now open the floor to questions.
Mr. Ellison.
Yes, you.
How does it? Do you feel like with this big step in your life that you are going to be big like Leanne Rimes?
It's in this particular step. I'm still me. I'm trying to stay humble, stay in my same zone that got me to where I am right now in the first place. So it's really all just about keeping true to myself, remembering where I came from, remembering who I am, and just enjoying the fame along the way also.
Hi, Brooklyn Vale of the Cody Newberry Sucks Balls Hourly. How long did it take to get to this decision? Was it a week, a month, a year, a couple of years? Like what? How long did it take you to get there?
I didn't mull over it for some time. It's making a decision like this, you can't really rush it. It's got to be something. You really gotta take a look at yourself and just think about whether or not this is really something you want.
Matt Kearns of Hot Takes, just for the sake of having a different opinion. Were there any other offers you had to field before going with this decision, or was this the sole one out there?
I'm not gonna lie, there were other offers on the table, and this is not a decision that I make lightly. This is not a decision I took. This is not a decision I, didn't take very seriously. So I did weigh out all possible options, and I feel like this is the best fit for me.
All right, this is the Sandman from the Full Metal Take 3 Times. So let's just take a hypothetical situation here, and if you had $1 million, what would you spend it on?
If I had $1 million, Raider gear. Clearly announced.
Nice.
That part of the NWA.
All right. I got another question here. What were you concerned about the fashion choice and just the big changes that you had to make?
I was a little concerned at first, but as time goes on, I realized that this is all what I should be doing.
Yeah.
Mr. Ellison.
Yes.
With the show that has been, a major cash grab lately for you guys, coming to an end very soon. What do you think about that? Are you guys going to bother to do a revised version of the theme?
Well, you see, with the show ending very soon, Gotham was a big hit for a little while. But I don't believe that. I believe people love the show. People watch the show, and I don't see anything reason to change the theme.
Sandy from Take 3 Full Metal Times again.
Yes.
I just got an email from one of my followers on my blog, because I'm blogging right now during this interview. And Enid asks what your thoughts on craft dinner is.
On craft dinner?
Yeah, Enid asks, what are your thoughts on craft dinner?
Craft dinner. Really, I don't really have an opinion on craft dinner thing that exists. I'm not really super big on it, but I take nothing. I would never take it away from anybody.
Fair enough.
Yes, Mr. Allison. Another question from Cody Blows Hourly. Have you been getting more postcards from chimpanzees?
What's going on? I am not at liberty to disclose my interaction with chimpanzees at this moment, but come talk to me later. I might go into more detail on that.
All right, we'll say final question from Matt.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a good final question to end on here. Again, Matt Kurtz from Hot Takes, just for sake of having hot takes. Bananarama Papanadama. I mean, am I right? I'm right. Right.
Yes, you are in fact right. Bananarama Padama Rama. If anything, I want you to take those words, hear them, let them ring in your mind. That way, when it's announced that I am going to be the lead in King Kong versus Godzilla, that way you have those words to help ease you in the situation.
All right, you're not quite there, but if you were to ponder at it now, any guesses as to what you're announcing?
The fuck am I talking about?
No idea?
Dude, I don't even know, and I have the answer.
Oh, okay. So Enid, if I had $1 million, another postcard, 1 week, you are joining the greatest band ever, the Bare Naked Ladies.
I'll kiss my
The
ass.
theme, Big Bang Theory. The Big Bang Theory, right? It's ending soon. The theme's by the Bare Naked Ladies.
Well,
Is it?
That question made.
this is how
I was
much
trying to-
I know about Bare Naked Ladies.
I was trying to figure out how to pepper in a Lovers in a Dangerous Time.
I couldn't do it. I thought about it too, and I couldn't do it. So
I don't know this band, so I kind of just.
Oh man, go listen. Okay, Matthew. I know I've done trying to debate it with Chance because Chance just doesn't listen. Matthew Kearns, go listen to Gordon, the album by Bare Naked Ladies, and then come back to me. That is their best album in my opinion. And then if you don't, and then we gotta spark you up.
No, never mind. I'm not gonna say it. That's for the watch along from last night.
All right. So now we will move into the movie news. We have to call upon Matt Kearns' roommates there. Hopefully they are done drinking Millers at the time.
Hopefully.
they're never done.
We
And we
shall
got a bit of a stacked list. So Matt, you want to call upon your buddies there?
Yeah,
I am not nearly drunk enough to deal with Matt's roommates.
Yeah, they're. Trust me, they are drunk enough.
And for those of you, I know people were asking me, nice haircut, Brooklyn. Yeah, go fuck yourselves too. Yeah. Oh, believe me, I enjoyed getting this haircut. It was the grumpy ass look that I got from Sue the entire time I was getting this haircut. I could have shit on the floor and I would have gotten the same look.
Not a fan of the haircut.
Well, I mean, I do miss the ability to part my hair and I don't mind styling it every now and then, but now it's a lot easier because literally just pop in the shower, literally swoop and then done.
Yeah, I recommend you get yourself a
Yo,
good.
what's up? It's Vinny.
No.
It's Vinny. Yo, what's up, guys? It's Vinny, and I'm here with your Day 3 fantasy update.
We
Shit,
really
no,
need
it's
subtitles.
Thursday. I'm not here for that. Woo, that frog he can drink. I can tell you that. Isn't that right, Kermit? You know. Yo, what's up, guys? So I'm reading the movie news tonight. And we got a lot of it because that New Zealand guy, he does nothing but sit around and look at movie news. It sounded a lot funnier in my head. Guys,
I think a lot of things sound a lot funnier in your head.
Hey, the LAF memo guy, why don't you just shut up? I'm talking to him.
Vinny's probably the only guy I know who can say a joke to himself and even he won't laugh.
Oh, hey, Luke, it's the guy from the movie shit that Matt watches. How you doing, man?
Doing good.
What's up, man? Oh, I'm just wondering, you think Harloff, he could get me in on the show,
No.
No? Well,
No.
now. All right, back in the movie news, because this is my segment. Maybe I won't let Will Harloff on my show. Or Brooklyn show. Nah, it's my show. So first up, we got Margot Robbie's going to star in a Barbie movie. I don't know what the Barbie is, but I know Margot Robbie, if she's starring in it, you know what I'm talking about. Also, we got Michael Pena. He's going to star in a Mr. Rourke in Fantasy Island. Now, remember Fantasy Island? It's all the plane. That's all I know about it. But, Michael Pena, I think he's going to say the plane. I don't know. Maybe. That'd be very funny. Next, we got Malcolm McDowell. He's going to play Rupert Murdoch in Roger Ailes' biopic. Now, here's the thing. I don't know who the fuck Roger Ailes is. I don't know who Rupert Murdoch is, but I know what a biopic is. So, there's a movie about a biography. So it's going to be boring as shit, is what we're getting at. Oh, dear God. Anna, you know what? I'm just going to let Brooklyn talk about this after I leave because I'm not even going to bother talk. What? Dear God. Oh, at least this is Yeah, so Paz Vega and Yvette Monreal, they joined what is going to be the greatest movie of possibly this century, which is going to be Rambo 5, which is obviously going to be called Rambo: Fuck yeah, I'm back. Greatest movie of the century coming out, guys. I swear, it's going to be off the chain. Then we got this guy James Gunn. He's gonna write and produce Suicide 2, Suicide Squad 2. I didn't know there was a Suicide Squad 1. Oh, gee. Guys, is this another comic book movie? Is this another freaking comic book? Jesus.
Yes, it is a comic book movie.
But Dave Bautista, he wants to star in it. Now, Dave Bautista, he's pretty sweet. He actually starred in Escape Plan 2 with Stallone. So you know he's a solid actor. Next, we have my favorite segment, which, man, that's just insulting. I don't live in a trailer. Live in a closet, for God's sakes. But trailers for Pet Sematary and Dime Freak came out. I didn't watch either one of them. And it just keeps going. Anthony Romanos joins in the Heights movie. Now, I know when in the Heights...
It's just Ramos.
Ramos, you know what?
If you're going to assault me with your accent, at least get the names right.
Insult you? Excuse me? I would expect nothing less from a West Coaster. Rookie of the Year is also getting a remake, which sucks because Rookie of the Year is one of the sweetest movies you could ever see. And actually, that Garden Hoses guy, he was on that Schmo show. He's pretty cool. He's a pretty cool guy, but I mean, he's not as cool as when he was like 9 or something. Isn't it funny, guys, that it's like of all the baseball teams, the Cubs are the only ones who would ever try to draft a 9-year-old to win? You sure it's not a real life story? Then we also got a Playmobil movies in the works with the Harry Potter dude, the chick who sang the song, and the dude who sang the song. So, you know, yeah. And then we got Ryan Coogler returns for Black Panther 2, which means Raul and me, we have another movie to talk about when that film comes out. So that's it for your Take 3 news wrap up. I gotta go back because Kermit's got a whole new case of Miller. So peace out.
One quick thing, Vinny, before you go, because I do want to get your opinion. There was one thing that was missed on the news, but I want to hear your opinion on it. It was recently announced this week that Kurt Russell is going to be playing Santa Claus in a Netflix special movie. Yeah. Is this the movie of your dreams?
It's not the. I don't care, but you know what? Matt hasn't shut the hell up about this shit. For the past few days, he's supposed to be, holy shit, Kurt Russell's going to be in a Christmas movie. I'm like, holy shit, Matt, go out and get laid, for God's sakes, at least once in your life. God. Jesus, man. All right, peace out, guys. By the way, Rambo 5, it's going to be amazing.
Alrighty. So the like I'll go to the panelists here, but the ones that kind of stand out for me, I mean, James Gunn going to Suicide Squad 2, it doesn't surprise me at all. I think that might be a good fit, and I think it's one. As long as it doesn't turn into like another sort of space opera, I think it could be a step in the right direction for DC. The Playmobil thing, I don't know what to expect of it, but mind you, like Lego Movie was one of the greatest movies that ever came out. So there is also potential there. Ryan Coogler returns to the Black Panther sequel. That just means that Marvel likes money, and that they're just going to keep going with what got them a lot of money. And then the Margot Robbie in the Barbie movie was also curious because when you also add in Patty Jenkins is also set to direct that. Really? I'm curious to see what they're going to do with that. If they're going to, I was just shocked as you are. Patty Jenkins is like the lead to
Wonder Woman to Barbie.
Yeah,
on the rise.
Wow.
But yeah, I actually I want to hear from Chance first. What is the movie news that stood out this week, or if there's anything that we missed, anything else that needs to get brought up?
Movie news stands out to me this week.
Yeah.
Oof. There's definitely a lot to talk about. I think the one that I think you already touched on it. James Gunn officially confirmed to be writing Suicide Squad 2. I cannot think of a way. Just like DC is like, you go back and tell that mouse to go fuck himself. Because I was like, who said that? He did. I mean, it just shows that I'm glad that James Gunn is going to continue to get work, just because we didn't know what effect this whole situation was going to have on his career as for long term. It looked like it's not going to have that big of an effect. The fact he's already working on another major studio picture shows that shows prowess. But what's interesting to me is that like James Gunn, he may have carte blanche as far as like a writing standpoint. Like I read somewhere that like this isn't necessarily going to be like a straight up sequel. It might be more like a soft reboot. So we don't know what the movie's going to be, but we do know that no matter what, it's going to have Dave Bautista in it somehow. I could totally see him playing a great fan.
Yeah. Sandy, what is the movie news that stood out for you this week?
All right. So the Margot Robbie starring in the Barbie movie, and now that you brought up Patty Jenkins is set to direct it, I could care that much. I love Margot Robbie and I love Patty Jenkins. I don't ever believe there's a need for a Barbie movie. It's a Barbie the doll is what all women hate, because it's a bad role model for women, in my opinion. So I don't know what they're trying to do with it, whether or not it's the making of Barbie and how that got created. I don't know, but it doesn't matter to me. Michael Pena, he's hit or miss to me, but playing Mr. Rourke on Fantasy Island, as somebody who watched Fantasy Island, not in reruns, it was a good show, and it's nice to see him getting some other non-superhero work. The James Gunn thing. Okay. How long do we think that it's going to take before he gets the director title for it? Probably pretty soon. So good for him. Get work. The Playmobil movie to me is just a money grab for the success of Lego. So do another kids movie with something similar, and people will show up in droves. I really am happy with Ryan Coogler coming back to direct Black Panther. For me, as much as there was lots of news, not anything really big and mind-blowing this week, but like I said, the biggest news for me here is Ryan Coogler coming back to direct Black Panther.
Mr. Rosa, what is the news that stood out for you this week?
The one that I derive the most pain from is the fact that they're making another Rambo movie, because the first Rambo is one of my top 50 movies of all time. I think it's sensible, and I think it's well shot, and I think it's well directed, and I love the first Rambo so much, and they need to stop making Rambo movies because none of the sequels are good. Not one good Rambo sequel. And this is the fourth one. Yeah, I disagree. I think Rambo is probably the best one we've gotten, but I don't think that makes it good. And then why are we remaking Rookie of the Year? Why is that necessary? The movie's a classic. There's no need to remake it. Just let it be what it's going to be, because it doesn't stand up.
Make it soccer. This
time. Studios, yeah. Just do the Airbuds of Rookie of the Year.
There is no Rookie of the Year award in soccer because you're never a rookie in soccer, so that wouldn't work. There's no rookie season in soccer because you start at like age 9.
You also wouldn't be able to throw a pitch very fast because your tendons healed wrong. So realism is not really a concern.
Also, it's a 9-year-old playing Major League Baseball.
Yeah, so let's not pretend like this movie's trying to be realistic.
Fair enough.
But
yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Curtains, what is the news that stood out for you this week? Obviously, I think you have to hate Kurt Russell being Santa Claus.
That one at the end. I'll save that one for the end. The first one is a complete reversal of the other Matt on here, which is I'm looking so forward to this Rambo 5. I mean, the pictures that Stallone has been not tweeting out because he's posting them on Instagram, but I'm just it seems to me the same way that when Stallone was going to make Rock Balboa and Creed, he's feeling the same way about this Rambo movie. And at least for me, as a huge Stallone fan, I could tell that this isn't a cash grab. Because if he wanted to do it as a cash grab, he would have done it right after the last Rambo movie. Because that thing was pretty huge. Everyone loved it. So I feel like there's story, and also it is following the end of the last movie, and I'm just interested to see what the story of this one is. As a huge fan of the series, is the second and third one a little, crazy, but I really love the fourth one, and the first one is one of my favorite films. But yeah, I just can't wait to see this movie. The Barbie movie, with Patty Jenkins now, I'm just not sure what this movie is going to be. Like, is it going to be a comedy? Is it going to be... Because I actually think with Margot Robbie, that could be a really, funny, just a whole movie just making fun of Barbie. Playmobil movie, I agree with you guys. It's just, let's take what the Lego movie did. It's kind of that meme where it's like, hey, can I copy your homework? Sure, just change a few words around. It's pretty much again, just from the genesis of the idea. But I can't believe Malcolm didn't even put this in the news. The greatest Christmas movie in the world is being released on Netflix on November 22nd. You guys see the trailer? He's immediately, Kurt Russell is just like, no, we're not doing this, kids. You know why? Because Kurt Russell Santa ain't playing around. Kurt Russell Santa is going to be amazing. This is going to be the greatest depiction of Santa Claus. Sorry, Miracle on 34th Street. Sorry, but Santa Claus. It's Kurt Russell. It's going to be amazing. And if I didn't already have Netflix, I probably would buy it just for this.
Do not forget Alec Baldwin as North in Rise of the Guardians.
Oh, he's awesome. He was underrated, but it's not Snake Plissken as Santa Claus.
And also don't forget Santa Claus the movie where Santa was played by the Big Lebowski. No, not the Santa Claus. Santa Claus the movie.
Oh, that's like Paul Giamatti or something, or
no? It's I can't remember. It's if you haven't seen the movie, look it up. It's
the one with Burgess Meredith as the elder.
The Big Lebowski from the Big Lebowski.
Okay.
It's such a weird movie. Burgess Meredith is in it. John Lithgow's in it.
Oh, I know the movie. It's weird, but it also takes the Santa Memphis really, really seriously. If you guys see a movie that takes it, it's from the guys who did Superman the movie, so they really
also don't forget the barrage of Santa Clauses that we get in these Hallmark movies. My mother-in-law is watching those. She's been watching those since September. Those Hallmark original movies that are just, it's the same message every single
it's the same movie. Message, which is no matter how much of a weird creep you are, somehow you'll find love
pretty well. The two topics that actually Jonathan Peck brought up, I think these can spark some interesting conversations. The one that I think will cause a lot of conversation is the thoughts on Bohemian Rhapsody and A Star Is Born. They won't be competing as musicals in the Golden Globe, which I almost want to call shenanigans on. And then he also wants to talk about Venom opening up with $80 million at the box office, which is the highest opening weekend for September. And just the mixed reviews. Matthew, you got your hand raised high in the air. Can you wave them like you just don't care?
I really want to talk about why I think Bohemian Rhapsody isn't going to be competing as a musical. A Star Is Born, that doesn't make sense. For me, I think A Star Is Born is a musical. But Bohemian Rhapsody, then again, it's really not. They're more so did Walk the Line compete as a musical?
I don't think it did.
I
don't think so.
I'm checking. Just go on, keep talking, I'll check.
I don't feel like Bohemian Rhapsody should be competing as a musical because I don't think it is a musical. I believe there's 3 to 4 performances in the film. They filmed them all 2 years ago. The majority of the film is them in studio making Bohemian Rhapsody. That's the whole point of the movie is them making that specific song, right? So why would it be so hugely important to the movie to be a musical when it's centered mostly around one song? I mean, there's of course the build up to them making the song, but that's the climax of the film. That's why they named it what they named it. So why would it compete as a musical?
The climax of the film is the 1985 Live Aid concert.
Yeah.
Okay, so wasn't that the first live performance of Bohemian Rhapsody?
Was it? I don't know.
I don't believe so, no.
No,
probably not. Because Bohemian Rhapsody came out early 80s?
Yeah, it was
okay, no, it did. I wasn't sure.
Okay, so just for the record, in 2006, the Golden Globes nominated Walk the Line for Best Motion Picture in a Musical or Comedy.
But
so
also,
look at
the time that came out, look at how much the rules of the Golden Globes have changed.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I guess
now
the
Martian,
better question
if they had the same rules now that they did like years ago, The Martian would not have competed on a musical or comedy.
what about what about Straight Outta Compton? Did it compete for a comedy or musical?
That
Or was
wasn't
it drama?
even nominated at the Golden Globes.
Yeah. What a shit year that was for awards.
Straight
But
Outta
yeah.
Compton should have won Best Picture. I'll fight about it.
Straight Outta Compton was great.
I
It was What else came out that year? That was 2015.
15. So that was the Amanda Shiro, Spotlight, Revenant.
Spotlight won, yeah.
Yeah, Spotlight was
Best Picture, which
Spotlight was Oscar bait.
No, oh man, nope. Not by a mile.
I 100% disagree. That movie is so important and so good that if you didn't like it, then you don't understand exactly why it was made.
Spotlight's in my top 10 for a reason.
Spotlight was
sue me for not liking. I don't like it.
Picture, but I don't begrudge it winning.
I'm allowed to not like a movie. That is allowed.
Absolutely.
I wasn't crazy about it.
Yeah. Oh man, it's kind of a sidetrack. I made my top 100 films list for a separate thing, and I totally forgot about Straight Outta Compton, so I gotta add Straight Outta Compton to that list. But the other thing that I'm kind of curious about is Venom getting $80 million, considering like the mixed reviews, and like just to kind of give a take on it right quickly. Fuck, Cody's here.
Yeah, holy shit. I have to save this show because, gosh, we're off the effing rails. Damn it, sorry I was late. Matt, you're completely wrong with Spotlight. You don't know your shit. And it's okay if you dislike a movie, but when you say Oscar bait, completely wrong. It has a great message. Rookie of the Year, the only reason the Rookie of the Year has to be made right now is because the Cubs are out of the playoffs and they have to do something. Brooklyn, nice haircut, dickhead. Vinny, good job on the news. Chance, love you. You're a great guy.
Thank you, man.
Sandy, you're amazing. I feel bad that you're in Canada because Brooklyn ruins everything. So I'm here. How's everything going?
I would definitely like to talk about Venom when we get back on track.
We are still on track. Cody.
Okay.
Cody likes to. Cody is like that backseat driver. He likes to like grab onto the wheel, and it takes just like kind of a swat across the arm just to kind of teach you a lesson. So yeah. So before Cody rudely interrupts my show.
Domestic assault in Canada, you dickhead.
Listen.
Grabs the wheel, you ass. Oh gosh.
The views of Cody Newberry do not. Whoa. Okay. The views of Cody Newberry do not reflect the views of Take 3 Productions and of Likeliness. We apologize if we offended anybody. We do not support domestic assault. Violence is bad. Okay.
Bring it up.
Okay. Okay. Sandy, what were your thoughts on Venom? Okay.
As Matthew absolutely reminded me, everybody has an opinion, and their opinion is completely valid on movies and whether or not they like them or not. I really liked Venom. I went into it expecting, because I had watched reviews, people ripping it to shreds. I went in expecting it to be bad. I walked out and wanted to go right back in and watch it again. It was good. I liked Tom Hardy's performance. I liked Michelle Williams' performance. The special effects were fine to me. It didn't take me out of the movie, and they filmed it really, really good really well because the action sequences where there were a lot of special effects were so fast and they moved around so much that you didn't really get a chance to focus on a bad part of any of the special effects. And I am extraordinarily happy that it made as much money as it did. So hopefully we'll get a sequel, because they ended that movie, and I'm not going to destroy spoilers for anybody, but they ended that movie, and I was so happy as a fan of the comics and the origination of this particular character that I still have the comics for. Absolutely awesome. So that's just me, and that's just my opinion, but go and watch it, make up your own mind.
I do want to interject, Sandy. I feel very similar. As soon as that movie was over, I did want to go back in and watch it again. Not because I liked it, though. I walked out of Venom just so baffled that was a movie I just saw. Was it good? No. Was it what I think was poorly constructed? Yeah. Am I happy it exists? Oh God, yes. The only thing I love more than a great movie is a hot trash movie, and that movie is hot trash, and I love it because of it.
All right.
Look, so many things to do in that
Cody.
movie. I just like, I couldn't take it. It's hilarious. Yeah, I endorse it. I say go watch Venom also.
All right, Cody. Let's just ramble on. Yeah.
Okay. I've missed like an hour, so I need to catch up. No, I kind of, and this is just my take. I give certain movies kind of passes just because I like the character. I don't say I will never like rank them and tell you you're 100% wrong on certain things because you can't be proven. But everybody has guilty pleasures, and like X-Men and Spider-Man are my two go-tos. They have always been my two go-tos. And I think Venom and Eddie Brock's character together is fantastic. Why they decided that Venom could lead his own movie and be an own character, that's where I'm upset. Because Venom, that's the one thing about Spider-Man. His villains are so crucial to him, and they test him in every way. And Venom's like one of those people that test him the most because Venom is, you can't reason with Venom almost because he is that monster. You can try to reason with the Eddie side, but you can't reason with Venom. So that's why I think I don't get the take on making villains their own standalone movies. I don't like that idea. I think that's a bad idea. So I thought the movie was okay. I just thought, I mean, if you throw that Eddie Brock in against Spider-Man, I'm kind of excited. But separate, not so much.
I so wish we could spoil the end credits.
I know.
It's some baffling shit.
I know. I still want to say it, but I cannot. So
somebody ruined it on Collider Live.
Yep.
Blew right.
Some of us had busy weekends and didn't get to see Venom yet.
That motherfucker.
You know,
they tiptoed around
Who was
the
it?
entire time. Chris Woodburn, and then all of a sudden he was like,
Chris Woodburn is a garbage person.
That thing at the end is fantastic. I'm excited where it goes. And like Roxy and Christian are like, well, there's that. Like you can't do anything now. It's already.
Rocky and Christian were like, there's that. I was like, well, shit, there's that.
Yeah.
But no, it still has to be seen to be believed. Go see it, Terrence.
Yeah, it's good.
All right. So a quick question for the panel: would you rather play shenanigans? Because I'm actually kind of surprised. People were asking if we were going to play shenanigans tonight. So, do you want to play shenanigans? Do you want to play shenanigans first, or do you want to talk about USD 229?
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans, because I have way too many hot button issues about.
Me and Cody are about to debate about 229. Then.
It would just be a gong show.
All right.
Yeah,
so let's play. Or yeah.
Or not?
I don't know. Okay, sorry. I asked this question before the show, and I'll ask it again. But do you guys want to play shenanigans, or do you want to play 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon?
I want to play 6 Degrees, but that's just me.
I don't really care,
cool.
actually.
All right, cool. Kearns, explain the rules of 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. I apologize to the chat, but we're going to play 6 Degrees.
We'll play shenanigans on Twitch later tonight.
Yeah, probably.
Probably. Okay, guys. So the rules of 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon are very easy. Pretty much all it is I'll start off with an actor who was in a movie with another actor. For example, I'll say Tom Cruise was in Jerry Maguire with Cuba Gooding Jr. and it'll go to Brooklyn. And Brooklyn will have to say Cuba Gooding Jr. was in X movie with Y actor actress. Now, once an actor is used, you cannot repeat them. And you also can't repeat the film they were in. Also, a rule I forgot to bring up before. 1 film per franchise. So you can't say Ewan McGregor was in Attack of the Clones with Hayden Christensen. And then be like, Liam Neeson was in The Phantom Menace with Natalie Portman. MCU.
Also, if you say that, you grossly misunderstood the game.
Yeah, you just lost because you just picked 4 different actors. You lose.
I'm saying later on.
No, I know what you're saying. I'm making fun of you.
Okay. The MCU also counts. Where the MCU gets tricky. Trilogies, you can only use 1 trilogy.
We can only pull from like 1 movie per
you
like.
Can only series, right? So only 1 Iron Man movie, only 1 Captain America movie, 1 Thor movie. When it comes to Avengers movies, only 1 Avengers movie. So Infinity War, Age of Ultron and Avengers are all one film.
What is the status on Middle Earth?
Middle Earth is the same thing. With Middle Earth.
We'll say
Middle
Lord
Earth
of the Rings and then Hobbit.
Okay.
No, I'm doing the same as Star Wars because they are prequels to Middle Earth. That's just.
I agree.
If you guys have an issue with them, but yeah.
So the order is going to be as follows because Cody hates whenever I ask him. I am going to ask Chance, and then Chance is going to ask Cody. Cody's going to ask Matt. Matt's going to ask, Kurt's going to ask Rosa. Rosa's going to ask Sandy, and then Sandy is going to ask me. So I am going to start it off. I'm going to give Chance a softball. Tom Cruise was in Tropic Thunder with Robert Downey Jr.
Okay, first of all, kiss my ass. Robert Downey Jr. was in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang with Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer was in. Oh fudge! No, like who was in that movie with him? It's been a long day at work. Batman Forever with Jim Carrey.
That is correct.
That is correct.
I'm having a rough day.
Jim Carrey was in The Mask with Cameron Diaz.
That bitch. Oh, crap. Cameron Diaz was in Shrek with Mike Myers.
All right. Mike Myers was in Wayne's World 2 with Dana Carvey.
Dana Carvey was in.
What a dick.
Fucking nothing.
I have.
He has stuff.
Dana Carvey was in. I'm just trying to think of who else was in.
If you use the Master of Disguise, you're a champion.
Why are you giving an answer?
I had the Master of Disguise. I just need an actor or an actress.
Rosa has a problem where if it's not his turn, he just doesn't shut up. Don't give answers away, Rosa.
Dana Carvey was in.
Oh no, I think I'm gonna give a count. 5.
Okay, Dana Carvey was in Master of Disguise with Richard Dreyfuss.
1.
I'm out.
He was actually Master of Disguise with Brent Spiner, who's the villain.
Oh yeah.
I love that you always put Richard Dreyfuss as your go-to. Like
or you could have went Opportunity Knocks with Robert Loggia.
Never heard of it.
There was a scene where he parodied Richard Dreyfuss, but he's
Robert Loggia.
So
does that mean Brooklyn's out?
Brooklyn is out.
That's my
so
favorite
now,
day ever.
Yep. So now it goes. Chance, you're gonna start. Pick a new actor. Now the round it restarts. So any actors or movies that we used before, they're in play again.
Okay.
Also, I forgot to bring up the Kevin Bacon rule.
Yeah.
If you are somehow able to connect Kevin Bacon, you get a life save, which means if something like what happened to Brooklyn happens, you save yourself. However, Chance, you can't start off with Kevin Bacon. You can't say Kevin Bacon was in X movie with Y actor. Too easy.
Okay. So, Tom Cruise was in Collateral with Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx was in The Amazing Spider-Man 2 with Paul Giamatti.
Paul Giamatti was in Sideways with Thomas Hayden Church.
Who?
Thomas Hayden Church.
Oh, crap. Oh, crap. Thomas Hayden Church.
It's a big ensemble movie.
Shut your mouth.
Oh, crap. Thomas Hayden Church was in... Technically, this isn't the same franchise, right? Because I'm about to say...
No.
Yeah, Thomas Hayden Church was in Spider-Man 3 with Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
I'll give it to him. It's different.
I was thinking Over the Hedge, but
he was in that.
Why? Why would Jeremy think about Over the Hedge?
Because I love Over the Hedge.
So I'm with Tobey Maguire right now.
Yeah.
All right, so Tobey Maguire was in Pleasantville with Reese Witherspoon.
Reese Witherspoon was in Walk the Line, Joaquin Phoenix.
No, he's right.
I'm right.
Sorry.
Yeah, he's right.
Typical Cody from Take 3.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Who do I have?
Joaquin Phoenix.
Nice one.
We like debating about Joaquin Phoenix, don't we, Cody?
Yeah, so much. Let's actually the other one. Joaquin Phoenix was in Her with Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson was in The Jungle Book with Bill Murray.
Bill Murray, okay. Bill Murray was in Ghostbusters with Dan Aykroyd.
Oh, I'm gonna love this.
Okay.
Dan Aykroyd was in Blues Brothers 2000 with John Goodman.
Okay. Wow. That's your go-to? John Goodman was in Monsters, Inc. with Billy Crystal.
Ooh.
Billy
Nice.
Crystal was in Analyze This with Robert De Niro.
Robert De Niro was in Goodfellas with Joe Pesci.
Pesci. We're gonna clown.
Joe Pesci.
Use you.
Joe Pesci. Oh, crap. Who's an obscure actor who worked with Joe Pesci?
I can say one, but I'm not going to screw over Sandy.
Yeah, don't screw over Sandy. I'm trying to beat Sandy because I feel like Sandy will beat me eventually if I don't think of someone obscure. Crap. Oh, Joe Pesci was in Casino with Sharon Stone.
Sharon Stone was in Basic Instinct with all right, Michael Douglas.
Okay, Michael Douglas was in Wall Street with Daryl Hannah.
Ooh.
I know. You're all saying it. I have to do it.
I got like 3 already, so.
No one cares about you.
Do you know the filmography of Daryl Hannah?
There's some really obvious ones.
Some big ones.
I know. I'm just blanking. I don't have it.
Oh,
Daryl Hannah is in Kill Bill Volume 1 with Lucy Liu.
oh that's
Blade
not even.
Blade
That's
Runner
not
with
even
Harrison Ford.
how about Blade Runner? How about Splash with Tom Hanks? Yeah, no. It's good.
So now it starts with me. Cody and Brooklyn are out. All right. Remember,
Look at
everything's
that.
on reset now.
Not a shocker.
Let me see. Who do I want to start with? Sylvester Stallone was in The Expendables with Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis was in Cop Out with Tracy Morgan.
Well, you know, Tracy Morgan.
Give me that Kevin Smith goodness.
Oh man. Oh, Tracy Morgan was in Fist Fight with Ice Cube.
Huh? I was
What
thinking
a
Ice Cube.
ball.
I was thinking a different movie. Let's see. Ice Cube was in Triple X: The Return of Xander Cage with Vin Diesel.
Ooh. Okay.
That's
What a
great.
movie. What a movie.
Interesting. If I could remember this actor's name, I would go with this movie, but I can't pull his name right now. So I guess I'll go with the obvious. Vin Diesel was in Fast and the Furious with Kurt Russell. Well, okay, Fast 7 with Kurt Russell. I have to get specific.
Furious 7. Furious 7.
Furious 7.
Kurt Russell was in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 with Zoe Saldana.
Okay, sorry about this, but Zoe Saldana was in The Losers with Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan was in Watchmen with Billy Crudup.
Nice.
Billy Crudup. That's a name I know, but I'm not able to pull it.
Oh, I know exactly what movie.
While Kurt is thinking of something, Cameron Holzman wins the internet today by saying, I would like to propose that if a player reaches Kevin Bacon and has to use the save, they must say, I'm going to save my bacon.
I concur.
That's Cameron.
I concur.
I'm out. I can't really think of anything.
I don't feel like I can be on this show anymore.
Almost Famous.
Almost Famous. You
I
could
haven't seen it.
Justice
Alien
League.
Covenant.
Yeah.
Big
Haven't
Fish.
seen it.
All right. So we start off with Matthew this turn.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, so I can pick literally anyone, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Leonard Nimoy was in Star Trek: The Motion Picture with let's think of someone who's obscure from the Star Trek cast.
You remember who you're asking, right?
You know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna say William Shatner.
You literally are going against Sandy. Like, Sandy knows Star Trek.
What's his favorite William Shatner movie that isn't Star Trek?
Remember, Shatner is Canadian.
Oh,
William Shatner was in Airplane with Leslie Nielsen.
Shatner in Airplane.
Airplane 2.
William Shatner was in Airplane?
No, he's in Airplane 2.
Airplane 2 with Liam Neeson.
Wow, Airplane
with
2.
who? Wait, with who?
Not Liam Neeson, with Leslie Nielsen. Sorry.
Leslie Nielsen.
I don't know.
No, it's over. You're out.
Leslie Nielsen's not.
Whoa! I heard Leslie Nielsen first.
But that was
Is
also
Leslie
when he said
Nielsen in Airplane 2?
He's not in Airplane.
William Shatner is in.
this is.
I don't think he's in Airplane 2.
I said Nick Cage, and I could not go back. He said
Yeah,
Airplane's incorrect.
Regardless,
Yeah,
isn't Leslie
It is.
Nielsen not in Airplane 2?
He's not. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Either way,
It's Lloyd Bridges.
Brooklyn's siding with Canadians, but can't do the same fair rules with everybody. Get that.
Whoa,
out of here.
Cody! I was on your side.
As
I'm
soon
not
as I
against
Cody
Brooklyn.
just likes being upset.
I'm against
Also-
as soon as I corrected myself and said Airplane 2 with Leslie Nielsen, I knew I was out because
Also,
he was,
wait,
he
no
wasn't in there.
one with no one with Free Enterprise.
Over the hedge.
Boy.
He was in
Chance
Over the
for
Hedge.
Sosa?
It's true.
Miss
Brooklyn, do
Congeniality.
you have a love of Over the Hedge? That
So
we didn't know
it's
about?
so Chance's turn. It's between Chance and Matthew Rosa now.
Yep.
Let's get to start fresh.
Oh gosh, this is where Chance brutalizes me into tender meat.
Why's your mic off? Camel.
Okay, here we go.
I don't want to see your face anyways. But I'm just
Robin Williams was in Aladdin with Scott Wenger. No, I'm kidding. I'm not gonna go with that one.
Sorry, what?
oh my gosh.
I didn't hear you.
Please do.
I didn't hear you.
No, I was kidding. I was kidding. I wasn't gonna do that one.
Oh, okay.
Okay. My real one is Jeff Bridges was in Fearless with Rosie Perez.
Rosie Perez?
Yes.
Oh,
Rosie
crap.
Perez.
I got a
Oh,
couple. Damn.
who's someone obscure that was in White Man Can't Jump? Oh, crap. I have my movie, right? But I'm just trying not to pick someone easy.
Better to be easy than lose.
No. Who played Rhonda? What's her name? Rosie Perez was in White Man Can't Jump with Tyra Farrell.
Okay, that's actually the right name. Good job. See, Tyra Farrell. What's she been in? Oh, fuck. Tyra Farrell was in Poetic Justice with Janet Jackson.
Oh, nice.
Oh, shit. I'm trying to look away from my computer because I'm doing work, not trying to cheat at the game. I'm doing both.
If you have to bring it up.
Why would you?
I had to bring it up because if not, everyone's going to be like, man, why is he typing?
Wait,
Yeah,
is
I
it your
immediately,
turn
I just got a
after
text that says, get off your keyboard. See? Huh.
Should just. Oh.
Huh.
Well, you know, filmography of Janet Jackson.
Janet Jackson. See, I know
I'm
one,
gonna
right,
start
that
the
everyone
time
knows.
count here for hesitation. I'm sorry, Rosa.
I know one that literally everyone knows, but it's too easy. Janet Jackson was in The Nutty Professor 2 with Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy was in Shrek 2 with John Cleese.
She was in that movie.
Shit,
I'm sorry.
I don't know.
That's
I
true.
can't think of any John Cleese movies. You win, Chance.
What?
Monty Python.
I don't have anything on the top of my head. I can't think of anything.
Monty Python Holy Grail with Eric Idle.
It's called Wanda.
He was in Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
Oh, duh. I wasn't
It's
thinking
called
Monty
also
Python.
Peter
Curtis, Kevin Kline.
You're right. You guys are right, but
All right,
I couldn't think of anything.
C'est la vie.
All right, let's open up the can of worms, and let's talk about UFC 229 because it did sort of take over the headlines this weekend. I had Sue was with me whenever we were watching the fights. And she was like, we have to watch the post-game press conference after, and she hardly ever watches UFC, so like it grabbed the casual fans by the hand and just kind of ripped them. Cody, you had your hand up. I was gonna get to you eventually, but what were your even excluding the main event, what do you think about the other fights? Because the other fights were really good with the exception of one.
UFC 229 as a UFC fan was one of the best pay-per-views that the UFC has put on. The problem I have, and this is no shot at anybody that's not a fan of it, I'm just so sick of everybody coming out of the woodworks and bringing it up because I know it came into the highlight and I know it is. But UFC, of like anything else is a sport. It's a sport. People sign up for it, and first look into UFC. I'm sorry, you saw a very bad representation of that sport. But if you watch it on any other night, you don't see that stuff. Do you see trash talk? Do you see rude stuff? Do you say all that stuff? Yes. But at the end of the day, Conor has always been that way. Conor says as much shit as he possibly to piss you off, and then after the fight, win or lose, he shows mostly the most up respect for that person. That's just who he is. It's a business plan for him, and he's smart. Khabib everybody brings up Conor's throwing of the dolly. He had his day in court. Regardless how you felt like that decision was read, he had his years. He was out of the UFC for 2 years at that point. Khabib leaving the octagon is one of the biggest disgraces of that sport because that's not just his team, that's a million other people that could have been hurt. The dolly was him versus them, and that no other people were seriously in danger. When you leap as a UFC fighter, you could have had somebody's daughter out there and could have been hit or contacted with that, and that is a joke in respect. At the end of the day, Khabib mauled the crap out of Conor. The fight should have been stopped in the second round when no one's bringing up. He was mauling him on top. That is a stoppage in any other UFC fight, but I don't blame the ref because at the end of the day, if he pulls off Khabib without clear doubt, one, Dana's ripping you, the public's ripping you, everybody. I just feel like Conor took the wrong fight at the wrong time. If Conor took 2 warm-up fights before that, that match has a totally different message. That's just me. I just feel like Khabib leaving the octagon was way a million times worse. And the jumping in and hitting Conor, regardless if Conor swung first, Conor shouldn't have swung first, but you shouldn't have been able to even contact Conor at that moment. You should have been off the octagon. You shouldn't have been around. Jumping off is a complete damn disgrace.
Yeah, no, Cody, I absolutely agree. I've been watching UFC for a good while, and you're right. Like, you ask anybody who knows anything about UFC, nobody thought Conor was going to win that fight. There was no way.
No,
Like,
he didn't have a prayer.
I was talking to Christian about the day it aired. He's like, or the day before it aired. He's like, Conor's gonna tap. He's gonna tap out in the third or fourth, and he did. But like, as soon as that happened, that's when UFC turned in WWE. I'm like I was watching. I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? Like, it was just some of the most baffling shit I've ever seen in any sports.
And for Khabib to come out and now upset that Dana will not put his people that jumped in the octagon and thinks about leaving the UFC, you should be suspended for what you did. You left.
He should be suspended. You really should.
You left a cage that you were a trained mixed martial artist and went drop kicking. Don't know who's around because you can't handle trash talk. You're in the wrong sport. If you want to do a wrestle off, go wrestle somebody.
Technically, to be fair, there is a section marked off for
It doesn't matter.
the
It
fighter's
doesn't
team.
matter. You're not.
He wasn't in the general crowd. I'm just saying.
At the end of the day, you're not. Don't leave that. You're not. This isn't a brawl. It could.
No,
it
I'm
could've
not.
broke
I'm not
out way
defending
more.
what he did. I'm just saying he couldn't have hit some child. No child could be in the
Okay,
area.
he could have hit a press.
He could have hit a member of the press. Yes.
Yes, he could have hit a member of press, a non-trained UFC fighter, and that's unacceptable. Like,
Well, he was specifically going after Dylan Dallas, who is
I
a
understand.
trained professional fighter.
It really like, in all honesty, it really doesn't matter who he was going after. The fact is that you as a fighter and you as your camp in the fighter, regardless of what has been said, regardless of what trash talk has been done, you as a professional sports figure, it is like if somebody jumped off the ice and attacked somebody in the crowd. That
It's
is exactly
literally
what it
Ron
was.
Artest. It's literally
is-
Ron Artest.
It is exactly what that is, and Habib should be suspended for a good amount of time. But the simple fact is it really put a black eye on what was a really good card for the most part. And even that fight, as much as Habib was beating up McGregor, the fight itself I really was enjoying. And until that moment, I left that moment going, wow, that was a complete waste of all my money.
So
Yeah, I think as far as the Nevada Gaming Commission is concerned, Connor and Kabir are both facing suspensions. for
Yeah,
what
they
did.
deserve it. They
Yeah.
technically don't deserve it. The whole viewpoint is on UFC. UFC, people say it's a bunch of dummies that swing at each other and like their things, but I completely disagree. I think it is a beautiful art form. I think it's one of the most amazing things when you can go in there and swing, and you know the timing that these guys have to have. I just think Dana needs to watch what he's doing, because I think Dana books for the best fight, and I am 100% behind that. I am 100% the best fight going forward in UFC. My problem is stop criticizing the refs every chance you get, because that fight ends in the second round. As a UFC fan, I watched that fight. He literally threw hammer fists and blows from the top for a solid 2 minutes.
Can
And
I
McGregor was holding on.
Can I interject with some of my actual training? So he's defending himself like this, right? He's catching hooks. So he wasn't intelligently defending himself at all. The fight's over. After the second punch, you're supposed to call it. And the problem is because they've been getting on to people for making too early stoppages. And Herb Dean doesn't want to get screwed over and lose out on, a paycheck. He's got to feed his kids. He's got to feed his family. And at the end of the day, I get it, but at the same time, that fight was over in the second round. It was second round knockout, no questions asked. Well,
I honestly
TKO,
believe
but
they're never going to call it after the second punch. There's not a chance, unless it's like clear cut. But like that's what's sad, because that event was amazing. Like
It really was. That car was really sweet.
Derek Lewis catching in the final minute, and his post-match interview is one of the best things I have heard in my life at this point.
Don't forget about Dominic Reyes versus Ovince St. Preux was a hell of a fight.
Oh, and Tony Ferguson versus
Anthony Pettis, fight of the night.
It's fantastic. That fight card had so much to map up with Khabib versus McGregor, and I watched it. And when it happened, see Khabib get up, he says something to Connor. Of course, Connor just sits there and smiles, or like does the smirk that he does, and then automatically turns and throws. And I'm sitting there at a bar full of people, and we're like, "Oh my, whoa!" And he just leaps and like goes that. When they corded him out, when they both did it, and Bruce Buffer had to announce it in the thing, and they like literally, if they make the announcement right now, he's getting pelted, and there's not a thing we can do, and that's accurate. And Dana White at the end of it was just literally like an old, like a parent. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Like I'm just disappointed in the two kids.
Could I go on like a little
Sure.
run for a second just to talk about what that
Sure.
moment meant to me? So Khabib, I went into this fight having followed Khabib's career for years. He was one of my favorite fighters, and this broke my heart. Like because he was such a huge favorite of mine. My two favorite fighters in the world my favorite fighter in the world was Khabib Nurmagomedov. Now it's Justin Gaethje, because I lost all respect for Khabib after doing that. He did exactly what he said he was going to do. He beat the snot out of Conor McGregor for 4 rounds. What does he gain from jumping the cage that night?
Nothing.
Literally nothing. He did it all. He did it. He proved that he is arguably, and I'm happy to have this argument, the greatest fighter of all time. You know, you could maybe argue Fedor Emelianenko. Well, he never did it in the UFC, so...
Who?
George St. Pierre.
Habib. You could argue
St.
that
Pierre.
Habib is the greatest fighter of all time. I'm not saying he would be correct, but you could argue it.
Absolutely.
He's 27-0. He's defended his lightweight title. He beat Conor McGregor.
The problem with him is, and again, that's the whole problem that we all have. It's a bunch of people say that it's fight sellability, like who's the big name, who would you watch the fight. I personally, this is just me as a UFC fan, if he is highlighting the next fight, right, and it's against somebody, not somebody big name, but it's somebody, right, I'm not buying it at that point.
It's
because
probably Ferguson.
But
it's probably Ferguson or Nurmagomedov.
Maybe I buy that one. I find his fighting, his wrestling style, besides when he did McGregor, because he really had hunger. He's like George St. Pierre for me. George St. Pierre would literally, for 5 straight rounds, exhaust you, and then win by unanimous decision, which is fine. That's 100%. But we all want the knockout, and that's why Conor McGregor is literally the face of UFC at this point. But the best of all time, I'd probably go to Mighty Mouse, just for how long he did it. And I also love, without a doubt, crap, I can't think right off the top of my head. I just had it.
The solid argument you could make for Khabib is 16 straight wins in the UFC.
I'd say DC. DC's one, because his only 2 is, and regardless, it's John Jones. And I'm sad that he's going to actually fight John Jones again. I'd rather him just.
If that actually happens.
Yeah, I would close that chapter. I would close that chapter because I'm sorry, Cormier can beat almost anybody, but Jones is just too lengthy and too powerful.
Well, we also got to see past his drug test this time.
Yeah, true. And I think that ruins Jones's.
Okay.
Down. It ruins Jones's because I don't think Jones. He's been let in how many times? I think he should just be done.
Cormier Jones too. If you look into that drug test, it's pretty ridiculous that they actually caught him. They called him on something.
It doesn't matter. You know you're going to be tested because you were tested once. You should be 100% clean. There should be no questions. No question marks.
Yeah, no. Yeah,
I think
it's just.
I'm as a sports fan. I'm baseball, football, hockey, basketball. I don't care if you know the stuff that you're supposed to be drug tested on. That you know you can be drug tested on at any given moment. Stay mother effing clean. You know the stuff. You check your stuff. You do your stuff. Like it's totally your fault if you get caught, regardless if you think it was approved or this shouldn't have been caught. They give you a list. Follow the list. That's the whole thing. And I agree. I think Jones is a clear-cut champion. I think Jones knocked him out. It happened. But you gotta take where it is. I'm really excited for Cormier versus Lesnar. I think that's gonna be hilarious because I think Cormier is gonna destroy Lesnar. That's just me. Lesnar's not gonna have enough. He can't even wrestle in WWE without gasping for air after 3 suplexes. So
he's blown up, man. He's got nothing.
6 punches. It's going to be a real long night for him.
Well, because Brock
gonna
Lesnar's
be
basically
basically-
envious fighters in UFC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lesnar would need to win it in the first, or it's not going to happen.
Lesnar's got way too much muscle mass. He's way too big.
He's too big. If he can land one shot and crack Cormier out, he's got a shot. But Matthew Rose is exactly right. It's either done in the first round or he will be submitted or.
Did he charge and almost like knocked the dude's head off with a knee? Pretty much, like he just ran and tackled him. What was
Talking about Heath Herring?
Heath Herring. If he doesn't see, if he just charges and puts him through the octagon. Like, that would just be the highlight of UFC.
Poor Heath Herring, man. That was brutal.
DC walks forward and Brock Lesnar just lifts and he goes right through the cage. And it's won by, like, technically he's not in the octagon anymore, so you win. But, yeah, Cormier, I think, is going to take him down and beat the living
No one thought Lesnar would beat Randy Couture, but he did it.
Yeah, but you know what? Randy was really at the end of his career at that point.
Yeah, that was really. He would not have beaten in his prime Randy Couture.
No, Randy would have.
No.
Well, and in his prime, Randy Couture is a light heavyweight, in my opinion, but
not wrong there.
But, yeah, would have been fighting in prime Randy Couture, but
he never would have fought in his prime Randy Couture because he was a light heavyweight.
Did Brooklyn let you know if he's coming back?
He is.
He's just. Yeah.
I was just checking.
All right. Well, Malcolm, I might have to give you the questions because I can't be here all night if good old Brooklyn is missing on us.
Ooh.
I don't know. Brooklyn's the champion. We may have to postpone the.
I'm winning my title belt tonight. I'm winning my belt tonight.
Cody
all night. I think if no one else has any thoughts on the UFC, maybe we go to the news.
We already did the news. Literally, all we have left is the debate.
Hey, Brooklyn's back.
I'm on my phone right now until the laptop is working because it's a fucking piece of shit. But how much did you guys shit on me?
We didn't.
Not at all. We actually didn't shit on you at all. We shit on Habib. We shit on Habib. That was all.
I'm disgusted at Habib, and that's about it.
All right, cool. My thoughts on Khabib McGregor. I thought it was a really good fight. I thought Khabib dominated. I think like the wrestling really dominated the straight game. But I want to talk about Tony Ferguson and Anthony Pettis as well, and what that sort of means in the future for lightweight divisions. Because I'm kind of curious to hear what's the next probably title match. Like, do you give Tony Ferguson the title match right away, or do you give him Conor? Or who?
Tony Ferguson should fight Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje just knocked out James Vick in the main event of UFC Fight Night. He's the number 2 fighter in the world.
You want my honest opinion? Khabib is stripped of the belt, and you give it to Tony. You make Tony Ferguson fight for it. That's my.
Dana White said that is absolutely not happening. That's a direct quote.
I understand. I just disagree with it 1,000%.
I don't think Khabib gets suspended.
If you want to, that's my problem. That's my problem with the UFC. Because, Dana, I understand. But if you want to set a precedence that, hey, don't leave the effing octagon again to fight anybody ever again, you suspend them for a long time. And Khabib, he's even talked about not coming back to the UFC because his cornerman won't get a UFC shot because he punched Conor McGregor. You don't punch the poster boys. You also
don't throw dollies at a fucking bus though. Like you have to think about matches were canceled because Conor was a dumbass.
He already had his day in court. That's the whole problem that everybody's facing. If you don't agree with the ruling, that's your own problem. But Conor faced his thing, and he could have been sent away. He could have had his entire fight career separated. But at the end of that, Dana White literally said, "It is out of my hand. It is in the authorities' hands." And now they did. If you're having a problem with the justice system, that's one thing. But you have every precedent that you run a show event and the guy left the octagon, you have precedent to suspend him if you choose.
Okay, so did we talk about the sour taste of that this left on the UFC in general? Or
we discussed that.
Yes. I know Kearns, we've chatted at
listen, me and Brooklyn, we chatted earlier on the week. It's not my place to talk about this with you guys. It's not. I'm not as involved in UFC as the rest of you. Anything I say will be as a public person's opinion, and I just don't feel like it holds any weight here.
I respect if you're not a fan. My only viewpoint is I feel bad for everybody that UFC before, or that was it's brought to its main stain on that fight because there's so many events that went on, and that has never ever been the case. It's never been the case.
On a bit of a later note, did you guys talk about Derek Lewis's post-fight interview?
We did.
I tried to. My balls are hot.
Fucking hilarious.
Balls are hot. I'm gonna smoke weed with you.
The guys that I was watching the fight with, they jumped out of their seats whenever he landed the haymaker, and I haven't seen him that big.
I love Joe Rogan. He goes, "You're thinking of title shot." And he goes, "Shit, man, I need to do some cardio before you talk. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I ain't doing no championship fight." I'm like, yes.
Yeah. I also gotta thank Malcolm for saving my ass while my laptop decided to pass out there for a second. Malcolm, how are we doing, buddy?
Doing pretty good. Just recorded my new guest match. So,
why'd you send that in the chat?
What was that?
I didn't mean to. I was trying to send it to Malcolm, so don't read it.
Well, now we have to read it.
Well, we have to.
I deleted it. I don't know if it's deleted on everybody's end.
If you deleted it,
it's just on your end.
You don't have to read it, guys. It's okay.
I didn't. I saw you post it, and I went out. Damn,
Brooklyn,
put it in the wrong chat.
I hope somebody can write questions fast.
Oh, I don't care. I mean, like, Cody, you shit on me almost every day.
It doesn't.
The worst thing that you could say.
Listen, it does not matter if you saw the questions because they're going to be randomized with numbers, so you're not going to know what question you're going to get anyway. So it don't matter.
Oh, you're talking about. I thought you were talking about.
I already have them randomized.
Said something.
That's a complete opposite of what speed round is. It is 100% that it does matter because now you know an answer. Like that's 100% wrong.
I didn't look.
I didn't look either.
I already deleted.
Right. I didn't look.
Not everyone wants to cheat like you, Cody.
I don't do that, though. I don't trust. I literally saw the amount of people that have checked in on that, and Sandy, Malcolm.
Okay, well, because I went into the chat, saw, and then I immediately looked away.
Just saying, it's fine.
Oh, I memorized every one of those questions.
What you're saying is that don't look at the late night chat.
Yeah, just don't look at the late night chat.
Cool. So then, can somebody PM me the Hangout link so I don't have to look at the? You don't have to go through there again.
I'm telling you right now, guys. Cody is almost ready to go into full on Cody mode. Like it's not even rage mode anymore. It's Cody mode. So
how do you send that? How do you send the speed round questions to the late night chat? It literally says late night.
I really don't need this negativity from you right now. I just got back from
Jonathan Peck would like us to get back on track and get back into
Ensemble. Get into this debate, please.
Because everybody, when we started talking about UFC, left the chat.
They're all gone. It's all burning.
We know our audience, and it's not UFC fans.
It is not.
All right, let's get into Ensemble movies while my laptop continues to be a pain in the ass. So the ones that stand out to me, I mean, Boogie Nights for sure. A Few Good Men is another good one. Anchorman, another animated classic. Shrek. I am gonna bring it over the head because I will defend that movie. But yeah, like for me, Boogie Nights is probably the one that stands out the most in terms of like the ensemble and how it rotates from different characters, but still has kind of a focus on Mark Wahlberg. But Malcolm, since you came in and saved the day, what are some of your favorite ensemble movies?
Movie 43.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't. Chances are it was going to be the first one I was going to bring up because I wouldn't call myself New Zealander if I didn't bring that one up. But I mean, Star Wars is up there for ensemble movies. Like you've got a lot of the Wes Anderson stuff are really good when it comes to ensembles. The Ocean's franchise is another one. And even Harry Potter, kind of is like that as well. So.
Yeah, I think probably when coming on towards 6, 7, 8, and 8.5.
Yeah.
But Sandy, what are some of your favorite films? I imagine that Star Trek has to be in there in some way, shape, or form.
I'll leave Star Trek alone for right now because in big franchises, it's tough sometimes because you know them now because they were in that movie, but they weren't super famous at the time. So, when I think of Star Wars and I think of Star Trek, they were relatively unknown until then. And I'm not going to try to steal anybody else's by naming off about 50 other ones. I agree with Brooklyn 100% that Boogie Nights is awesome and one of the best ensemble movies ever made. But I consider, especially considering that it's topical for this year, Avengers Infinity War is one of the best ensemble movies. It doesn't matter if you think the movie was great dramatically or whether or not it was written well or whatever. The sheer number of people that are famous in that movie that made that movie work makes it a great ensemble movie. So that's my choice.
Yeah. Mr. Rosa, Mr. Rosa. What are some of your favorite ensemble movies?
I have one favorite ensemble movie. It's Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I will defend that movie to the absolute death. One of my favorite movies. Like, don't get crazy. It's like top 500, but it's there. I like that movie a lot. I really enjoy the cast. It was a huge jumping off movie for a bunch of the stars in that movie. Unfortunately, not the lead actor, but the rest of them, ended up doing a bunch of other great movies, and it's so well shot and directed. I mean, Edgar Wright just directed that movie to perfection. Every scene is so fun. It's a really fun movie. It's super quotable. Bread makes you fat. Scott Pilgrim versus the World. That's my pick.
Another great ensemble by the same director, Baby Driver. One that I think is actually better than Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yeah, so do I. I agree.
A lot of people
Cody.
do 2. Pulp Fiction.
Oh,
The Departed.
yeah, I didn't even think of Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction and The Departed. I always say this. It gets a lot of maybe hate. I don't know. It's my favorite Scorsese.
Really? The Departed.
Yeah. It has the most. It is a long movie, and it feels like literally an hour, and it's super rewatchable. Everybody says he only won it because of all the stuff he missed for, but I think the movie is fantastic from start to finish.
Kurds, what are some of your favorite ensemble films?
Well, just jumping off Scorsese, Goodfellas is definitely one. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, great ensemble movie. Rocky. I'm sorry?
Chitter's full. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I thought you were shitting on the movie. It's
nope.
There. No, yeah.
Chitter's full.
Rocky. The Star Wars trilogy, or all of them, pretty much. Great ensemble movies.
Would you consider the first Rocky an ensemble?
Yes.
3? I mean, I guess 3 famous people were in that movie.
Wait. I don't judge ensembles by who's famous from the movie, but
that's the whole description of an ensemble movie is multiple famous people who could have been the lead.
Well, I look on ensembles different, I guess. I just look at big casts in which everyone pretty much plays a major role in the film. That's how I look at it. That's how I define it.
I guess that's another fair description of it.
Okay.
Sorry, Kurtz.
Pulp Fiction is definitely more than Boogie Nights, and also just it's completely silly, but I also love the Expendables movie. It's just a fun ensemble with everyone.
I love the first Expendables.
Me? Oh. Okay, Brooklyn's got.
There goes Brooklyn. All right, Chance.
Some of the ones that are brought up were actually on my list. Like I had Pulp Fiction. I had Ocean's 11. I think it's a great ensemble. Some of the ones Infinity War I did have. Some of the ones people haven't brought up. JFK.
Nice.
JFK is a great ensemble.
Totally forgot about that one. Shit.
Yeah, so many people in that movie, like John Candy's in that movie, like Walter Matthau, Donald Sutherland, so many great names in that film. The Godfathers 1 and 2.
Yeah,
I think both great ensembles. My favorite PTA ensemble is actually Magnolia. I think Magnolia has a fantastic cast. And this is gonna be a weird choice, but like you take a look back, that was a fantastic ensemble for the time it came out, and that's The Outsiders.
Ah,
was
dude,
That's
Yep.
such a good
Yes.
choice.
Yeah.
that was like a
Yes.
who's who
Yes.
of upcoming '80s talents.
yeah,
It's such
absolutely.
that
I'm
everyone
so
except for the lead of the movie did something after
You
that.
just literally
Everyone.
Except for C. Thomas Howell.
See,
Everyone.
Thomas Howell took his time. After that one, he sort of went away for a little while, but 20 years later, he started doing some stuff. I'm just going to go to the YouTube chat right now. The Cool Guy and Jonathan Peck have been listing off movies that we haven't talked about. The Lego Movie, Dazed and Confused, The Lord of the Rings, Grand Budapest Hotel, Birdman, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Network, Goodfellas, Apollo 13, Inception. Jonathan Peck wanted us to know, or no, the Cool Guy once again, Boyhood, Moonlight, Pulp Fiction, Inglourious Basterds, The Departed, Interstellar, Anchorman, Rocky, 12 Angry Men, BoJack Horseman, a TV show, but I don't care, he says, Fargo, and Good Will Hunting.
BoJack Horseman is a great show.
BoJack
Also,
Horseman.
jumping
We
off
can
of
talk
C.
about
Thomas.
TV cats like all day, but like this is just
Oh,
this
well,
movie.
I was gonna say Arrested Development is.
Yeah.
If we're gonna talk about shows with Will Arnett.
I mean, The Office, both versions, USA.
Yeah, you have to have ensembles on TV shows. That's why they're TV shows. So yeah, there's lots of TV shows that have ensembles. But
Just jumping off of the C. Thomas Howell thing. Also, the original Red Dawn has an
Yeah.
insanely good
Red
ensemble
Dawn's
cast
great.
of
I
unknown.
like the remake better.
Really?
I'm just kidding.
No, you don't.
You love
Stop
watching Josh Peck in Red Dawn.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well, I never thought that
What
we
a-
killed those Russians, but we found a way.
That film. Harloff cannot stand the remake of Red Dawn.
I'm sorry, guys. Just go to the Live Schmoes No Show when they reviewed it. It's hilarious.
Well, Whitney literally says when they play Late to the Party, they said which one, the remake, and he's like, there was never a remake. And Harloff goes, you get 10,000 points for saying that. Thank you, Whitney.
Oh, that's
Nice.
great.
Also, I guess, would you count musicals as ensembles? I mean,
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
Greatest Showman.
Like for me, the
Hairspray.
two that Hairspray in Chicago.
Yes, Hairspray is my favorite musical of all time. So, well, movie musical.
White guilt
I
getting
mean-
to you.
Couldn't we go like? No one has said Towering Inferno. Doesn't that count?
Yeah, no.
No, that's a good one.
No, wait, we're all sleeping on the best ensemble film of all time. Of course, talking about Castaway.
Ha!
Yes.
Oh yeah,
I mean, there's lots of Wilsons.
you got Wilson
Top
and
Rock.
Wilson and Wilson and I love what Wilson went on
The
and did.
Sand.
Currents and I were talking about this as well. And I think Sandy would also appreciate this well. Armageddon is also another.
Yes.
Great
Yeah.
Armageddon. Yes.
I
Such-
could stay
so
awake
dumb.
just to hear you breathing.
The Cool Guy says LA Confidential, Django Unchained, Sunset Boulevard, The Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller, Three Billboards,
I have Sunset Boulevard on my list.
Yes.
Tropic
There's-
Thunder. They could go on forever. We could just
Wait a second,
continue
Sandy.
this forever.
Sandy,
So.
how do we not see this? Major League.
Major League.
Major League Great.
League.
Yep, absolutely.
Would you count Ready Player One as an ensemble?
No,
No,
almost everybody's unknown in that movie, so it's not an ensemble.
Would you count Rocky Horror Picture Show?
Oh,
yes,
I
no,
apparently
yeah.
don't-
Retrospectively,
I hate that.
Apparently, I judge what an ensemble movie is a completely
You did.
different way than you guys. It's
Yeah, well,
interesting.
I mean, for me, what I've always understood the ensemble to mean is like a lot of characters, but no sort of discernible lead. Like everyone's got an equal amount of screen time. Like for example, Avengers: Infinity War is one, but like there's no really. Can't really say that one person is a discernible lead because they get more screen time than the other.
I think you can pretty
Sorry, I'm a
definitively
fan of
say
this
that
movie.
movie is Gamora's movie.
I mean,
Let's
I
fight
think-
about it.
I mean, I think when it comes to ensemble, everyone there is a very varied opinion on what it counts as ensemble. And I think no one's wrong.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, if we're again just pop Jaws.
Jaws like 3 people.
Jaws also has Richard Dreyfuss.
It does.
I'm Richard Dreyfuss. I was in Jaws.
It's pretty funny because like other than Jaws and What About Bob, you could put a gun to my head and I would not know a movie that Richard Dreyfuss was in.
Close Encounters.
American Graffiti.
Yeah,
there's a good one too.
Oh, American Graffiti.
He was in the Poseidon Adventure.
He was.
No.
What a great pick.
All right, so let us. You had to bring up Tango and Cash. All right,
Yes!
let's.
Tango and Cash.
So because
Russell.
I am the Late Night with Take 3 Mini Speed Debate Champion of the Worldwide Movie Geeks Organization of America, I will not be your debate master tonight. I will be handing it over to the question writer for Jukebox Trivia. He is the master debater tonight, Mr. Matthew Rosa. The floor is yours, good sir.
How is this working?
So how it is working
Former
is
champ.
okay. Now, Malcolm will not be competing, unfortunately, because he did come in to save the day. So how it'll be Chance, Cody, Kearns, and Sandy will be
Such horseshit.
The original. Listen, I got us a Schmodown competitor, Cody. I told you that if you brought on a Schmodown competitor, you could have gotten that same opportunity. But no.
It's not my show. I'm not responsible.
So bring on a guest. I tried as well. I tried to help you, sir.
Fuck off.
Why do
Okay,
you?
so just for the record, who got Chance?
I mean, Sandy. Sorry, Sandy.
So who
Sandy.
gets the advantage?
Ooh. Judge you down. Just space
Cody was after me. Cody was after me a couple weeks ago because he's like, I don't want to work for my title. I want to get tossed a silver spoon.
Pause, dickhead. Pause. No, when I first started, we had enough people, not all Schmodown competitors, and everybody got the advantage. That if you're a champion, you fight last. But you got lazy and didn't want to invite enough people on, so then...
Because I didn't want to ask 5 fucking times, what are your thoughts on this film? What is the movie news that stood out for you this week? I want to keep my...
I'm sorry you had to work, you freaking lazy-ass Canadian. Okay.
Hey, let's debate.
Yeah, they just got all primed up, guys. There it is.
All right.
That's fine.
So,
I'm ready.
So, Matthew, you'll have to come up with some sort of random order. I usually get them to pick numbers, and then the numbers are sort of pre-assigned to the matchups and whatnot. Okay, they will duke it out, and then the winner takes on me.
So, what are our matchups? Or
so
we're
just
picking numbers.
Yeah,
picking
just so
numbers.
you're picking numbers.
Okay. Right. Kearns, pick a number.
Disrespectful. I'm the champion.
Wait,
I'm the former champion.
So am I. So shut up. Kearns, pick a number.
Pick first.
Okay, so I'm picking a number. What's my range?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
1 to 4.
1 to 4.
Right, because there's only 4
4
competitors.
to 2.
Okay. Kearns.
4.
Okie dokie. Cody.
Should have had that number. What are the 2 left?
1 and 3.
I'll take 3.
Okie dokie. And lastly, Sandy, you'll be number 1.
Exactly what I was gonna pick.
Cody.
All right.
Two former champions moved to the back. That's interesting. Interesting choice.
How did
fun
Brooklyn not have to fight this round?
Because he brought a Schmodown competitor.
So the fun little competition we're gonna do.
Sandy brought on the Schmodown competitor.
All right. It's Sandy versus Cody, and Chance versus Kearns.
Okay.
Is Malcolm voting? Is Malcolm having a vote during this match?
I don't.
Is Malcolm voting? I just need to know if Malcolm's voting or not.
No, Malcolm will not be.
Well, then I stand a chance. Slim, but just a chance.
Who is
Okie dokie.
the other 2? Okay.
Sandy and Cody, you'll be going first. And your question, pick a number between 1 to 4. You guys can decide together.
You're the former champ, Cody. So you know what? You can take.
I'll take 1.
And then you guys know
All right.
the 20-minute, 20-second opening, 15-second
20
rebuttal.
minutes.
20
I have a
minutes.
20
stopwatch.
minutes.
20 minutes.
I have a stopwatch, so I'm going to be brutal about it.
That's called Cody talking.
Yeah, I
Do
have
a
a
5-second
stopwatch, so I'm going to be
countdown.
brutal.
Do a 5-second
Yeah.
countdown. Okay.
Okie dokie. What is the better movie, Valentine's Day or New Year's Eve?
New Year's Eve.
Valentine's Day.
Okay, well, I heard Cody first. That means Cody gets to go first. You guys picked different movies.
No, I know, but I was first.
You can go first.
Were you?
I'll let you go.
That's
Go
okay.
first.
Okay.
Cody's
Sure.
the
No,
former
go.
champ. You can go.
You can go.
I don't care who goes first. It's just usually
Sandy,
Cody
it's
is-
easier first.
Cody is
This is-
going first.
This is what we call a Canadian standoff.
As former champion, Sandy can go first. I'm okay with that.
Okay,
You
Sandy.
go first. No, you go first.
Sandy?
You go first.
You have 20 seconds starting now.
No,
Or
starting
we'll
when
just
I
say
talk.
starting as soon as you
whenever
start
you
talking. Yeah.
All right, New Year's Eve is a better holiday than Valentine's Day. New Year's Eve is fun. Everybody gets to have a good time. Even if you're single, you can drink and get drunk and have a great time. Valentine's Day is all about suffering and having. If you don't have anybody to celebrate with, it's absolutely horrible. New Year's Eve is a better movie because the holiday is better than Valentine's Day.
Time. All right. Cody, your opening statement.
Valentine's Day has a huge cast, and that's what they rely on so heavily. They got Bradley Cooper, they have Kathy Bates, they have Jessica Alba, Jamie Foxx, this whole cast. And Valentine's Day is not such a bad day because if you're sad and lonely, there's a bunch of aisles and stores that have candy available, and you can go down them and buy them and have a fantastic time and drink your sorrows and eat candy. The movie is comedy. The movie has romance.
Time.
The movie has love.
All right. 15-second rebuttals, right? So now we go back to Sandy whenever you want to talk.
Valentine's Day sucks. And if you want to talk about cast, Michelle Pfeiffer, Zac Efron, Fiona Chow, Michael Mandate, Robert De Niro, Halle Berry, Carrie Elwes, Common, Barbara Marshall, Jessica Biel, Seth Meyers. The list goes on and on. New Year's Eve, better holiday than
Time.
Valentine's Day.
You just look up the cast.
Yeah, pretty much.
Say Sandy. I love it. But
Oh, yeah,
right,
because
Cody,
Cody could rattle
your
off that
rebuttal.
many names too.
New Year's Eve is the stepsister of the one that came after. Valentine's Day came out first, so they got bigger actors, they got bigger star, better writing. Gary Marshall came out. New Year's Eve was the second one, and everybody already hated Valentine's Day as much, so no one liked New Year's Eve. New Year's
Time.
Eve was a bomb at the box office.
Can I have a 5-millisecond rebuttal?
I don't think that's how that works here.
All right. It's all right. He proved my point. So
Oh, off the record, what
All
were you
right.
gonna say? What would you have said? That it won't factor into.
No, vote first. I do not believe
Yeah,
in Arena at all.
We got to
Fine.
vote first. So I guess we'll go. Chance, what do you think? Where's your vote going?
For a while, this was more about the holidays than about the movies.
Exactly.
Based on the arguments, I'm gonna lean towards Sandy.
Okay, that's one for Sandy. All right, Kearns.
Lord, although I disagree with him on his stance on the holiday, and Sandy, I love you, brother, but Cody fought more for his movie, whereas in your rebuttal, Sandy, you kind of just listed off the cast of New Year's Eve. Didn't really. I'm sorry. Cody just fought for his movie a little bit more.
Wow, thanks for making me be a deciding vote, guys. I love you both so much.
Cody used his entire first round.
No, I
to
didn't.
list off the cast.
I missed it.
Sandy.
And you used your entire
Guys,
second round to list off the cast.
Guys, I nearly snapped at Cody because he was talking to people
You're right.
while
You're
they were
right.
making the decision.
I apologize. My bad.
I'm giving it to
Seriously?
Cody.
Cody.
He had the more solid argument. He was arguing for his movie. Sandy, your entire opening argument was that the day was better. I'm sorry,
like,
buddy.
no offense.
Both
if I lost
movies
this, I was like,
suck.
He listed the IMDb. I was like, Sandy's never seen New Year's Eve. I don't think.
Now
I haven't
will
seen
say,
either
as
one of
I've
them,
been
and I should
writing,
win just for
I
that.
did not know my vote would be. I didn't know I'd be voting, so I wish I would have.
Cody,
I would have taken notes had I known.
Cody,
that.
it's like the time that you and me fought Sky High in the school from Accepted.
You
And I've never seen that movie, so it's just like the pie fucker.
Yeah, we thought it was American Pie. I was like, yeah.
Okie dokie. So now we have Chance versus Kearns. You have 2, 3, or 4. What number do you guys want?
Chance, you can pick.
Let's go 2 again.
2.
Yeah.
What is the best ensemble film based on a non-Marvel or DC comic?
JFK.
There's quite a few.
A Few Good Men.
Ooh.
There's a JFK comic?
Oh wait, it has to be based on comic.
I said based on a non-Marvel. Yeah, based on a non-Marvel or DC comic. So based on a comic.
I thought you were saying like.
I'm sorry. No, based on a comic that is not Marvel or DC. I looked it up. There's tons.
I like this fight way more.
Sin City.
Dick Tracy.
Okay, Dick Tracy.
Sin City. Does that count?
Yes, it's a
that
comic.
counts. No one picked Scott Pilgrim. All right, you guys suck. So, Kearns, you answered first, so therefore you get to go first. Time starts whenever you start talking.
We're talking about ensemble cast. Dick Tracy not only is the source material one of the greatest rogues galleries of villains ever in comics history, but you have great actors playing all of them. Al Pacino is amazing as Big Boy Caprice. He's the lead of all of this. You also have people like James Caan in the background, and Warren Beatty is there as well as Dick Tracy.
Time.
Everyone.
Chance.
Just to clarify, 20 seconds when I start talking, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, he has a great ensemble of villains that you could not name with a gun to your head, except for Big Boy Caprice played by Al Pacino. My movie, you have 3 great badasses, Marv, John Hardigan, and Dwight, played by Clive Owen, Bruce Willis, and Mickey Rourke. Only time Jessica Alba's been good in the movie. Alexis Bledel is in there. She's great. You got Michael Madsen in a small part, Benicio del Toro. This is what the best cast overall. Mine is the best cast, and they're all used effectively.
All right. Kearns, your rebuttal.
The argument is not how many actors playing characters can we play. It's the best ensemble cast in a comic book movie. Dick Tracy wins. Sin City is fine, but it's mostly just stars over characters, whereas in Dick Tracy, it's the characters that matter because it is a movie and it's a great movie of characters.
You literally, you're talking about the cast, you literally only named 3 cast members on that. I named like 6 or 7, and you have Madonna in your cast. She's fucking awful in that movie. Mine, clearly the better cast, because everyone in this movie is great.
Oh, pulls out the Chris Clark resigning his 5 seconds. Okie dokie. How you feeling about it, Cody?
I'm really confused tonight because I don't know why listing IMDb or like all the actors is like everybody's main like bread and butter of an ensemble. But I think you mentioned some. That's great. This one's tough because I think Chance's rebuttal is very, very strong. But I also this is a hard battle because there wasn't a lot of takedowns as much besides the Madonna sucks. I'm gonna slightly.
I said that he only lists like 3 cast members, and the
Fine. No, we're not gonna do that right now.
Step away.
I'm just gonna give it to Kearns. I think Kearns mentioned more about the movie. All I plead from Chance was a lot of the characters, and I mentioned again. It's 20 seconds. It's a lot fast. I think Kearns give a little bit more, so I'll give it to Kearns.
All right, Sandy, what do you think?
This is a tough one for Sandy. Gosh. We've got Rhyme and Reason and Full Metal sitting on the same side.
I am not basing my opinion on the two friendships that I have that are the
That's good.
competing. Cody, you shit disturber, you. Based on the argument alone and the question that was asked. I have to do this because I have to make Matthew Rosa as uncomfortable as possible. Chance's argument to me was a little bit more, and his rebuttal was what sold it for me. Kearns had a really good first round, but the rebuttal for me was what came out. So I give my vote to Chance this time.
How did I know I was gonna have to pick?
I forgot what the argument actually during that question.
Yeah, I'm going with Chance, purely based on the rebuttal of you named three actors. It was solid because Kearns had argued that he had the better actors. Chance immediately responds with you named three actors, I named a bunch of actors, so I'm giving it to Chance.
I'm fine with that. That's perfectly fine. I actually didn't argue. I was arguing about the characters, but that's fine. No,
you said you had a rogue gallery of characters, and you said you had amazing actors playing them. Then you brought up a few actors.
Okay, no, that's fine.
What was the question? Was it best ensemble or best movie?
It was just what is the best ensemble film based on a non-Marvel or DC comic.
To be honest,
we both screwed up. We both screwed up.
To be honest, the question, I was more confused because I was more prepared to fight the first fight we were gonna have.
I want to see Few Good Men versus JFK. Like, I think that was a total misstep. But it's okay.
Yeah, that would have been great.
Few Good Men suck.
What?
I do it for Brooklyn. I just do it for Brooklyn.
Oh,
Good
thank
Lord.
freaking
I was about to say, you
right.
are not slandering the work of the man who is Tom Cruise, sir.
Chance versus Cody. There are two numbers left, 3 and 4. What do you guys want?
Want to go 4? Sure. Let's go 4.
All right. What actor had the best performance in the Oceans franchise?
Brad Pitt.
Ocean's franchise?
Yes, any of the Oceans movies.
All 25 of them.
So if you really wanted to pick Sandy Bullock, you could pick Sandy Bullock.
What?
I have
Ocean's
a serious
franchise,
question,
Ocean's
and I
Campbell.
don't mean to fight semantics. I'm just wondering, are we basically fighting them in, like, their or through the franchise?
It says, what actor had the best performance? So you would have to give me the actor, and so you would have to argue why their performance was the best performance in any of the Oceans movies.
Matt Damon.
Okay. Chance, obviously you answered first, so you get to go first.
Everybody likes to talk about Danny Ocean, but no credit goes to Rusty Ryan, that franchise. Rusty Ryan, who Brad Pitt had to really shed his pretty boy persona to really get into like the heart of a hardened criminal, a smart, strategic criminal that was Rusty Ryan. He had to play so many different levels in the Ocean's franchise, and really he's the only consistency throughout the entire franchise, which gets muddled, but he's always really good.
All right, Cody.
Matt Damon has such a hard cast because he's the only one that actually has character development from the beginning to the end. He literally starts as one of the scary guys that makes the big mistake in 11 and literally helps lead the team in 13. He has that great end with 13. Brad Pitt just plays pretty much George Clooney's sidekick throughout the entire movie, and they're pretty much back and forth. They're pretty similar down the line.
All right, Chance, your rebuttal.
He plays a supporting role in first, but then you got Ocean's 12 where he takes the forefront. He has to play a lot more pathos because he's going to be someone that, he's involved with romantically. And also, Matt Damon, he's often one of, the least interesting parts of that franchise because, he's always, he's the kid. He's always asking questions. He's kind of annoying in those movies, honestly.
Cody, your rebuttal.
Congratulations, you pick Ocean's 12, which were one of the worst movies of the franchise. 13, where he brings it back to dominant, where he has to literally trusted with stealing the necklace in the top of the Penal's lobby and watches everybody get the money transferred to their account because they pulled off the rob. He is literally the backbone of it and has the huge character arc throughout the entire films.
Okie dokie. Sandy, what did you think?
I mean, I could go first. I already have my.
I was gonna say, I guess Kurds. What'd you think?
No, I thought this was a really good fight. Actually, this is one of those debates that'd be interesting to see it go longer. Personally, I think Cody, his opening and rebuttal were both really strong. I thought Chance's rebuttal was really strong. His opening was not as much as Cody's. I thought both were really strong. That's why I had to just give the slight edge to Cody.
Okay. Now, Sandy, what do you think?
I don't know. It was just so close. Damn it. Based on the argument and not my own personal opinion on it, I give the slight edge to Cody in this one. Sorry, Chance. I agree with you that Brad Pitt is the better character in these movies, but the argument just Cody was just able to express more of why Matt Damon was important to the franchise. So
I don't
good God.
I would have pissed if I lost to Dick Tracy, but this one I'm okay with.
Listen,
do you realize
Chance,
what our championship match is now?
The funny thing is, Chance, when you said it, I didn't hear Brad Pitt. I thought you said George Clooney, and I was like, this is the easiest slam dunk ever. And then when you started and you said Rusty, I was like, oh. Shit.
All around me are familiar faces.
Yeah, it's funny. I had an argument for Rusty ready to go, and then I just completely blanked. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah. That's the thing about these battles.
You just gave me.
All right, everyone. Now it is time for your championship fight. Brooklyn Vale versus Cody Newberry. Here is your question. Are you ready? Are you primed?
One thing. This is the thing that I noticed while you're doing this. I couldn't see the 5 just because I see the center of your frame. So if you can just have your 5 in that, and the only thing is, and I'll only do this with Cody with Cody's agreement, because there's 5 people on with the addition to us. Do I have all 5 people judge just to kind of give it a cool? All right, you're gonna lose.
Cool. Okie dokie. There's only one question left, and it is a doozy. 2 hugely important ensemble films were released in the year 2014. Grand Budapest Hotel and Guardians of the Galaxy. Which is better?
Grand Budapest Hotel.
Okay. Brooklyn definitely got in there first, but you guys both picked 2 different movies. All right. Brooklyn, your time starts whenever you start talking.
Grand Budapest Hotel captures the quirkiness that is Wes Anderson and brings that charm up to a 12. You have great performances by Ray Fiennes, Adrian Brody, Owen Wilson, Willem Dafoe, whereas Guardians of the Galaxy is a ripoff of Star Wars and Star Trek, which is unoriginal and is bland as hell. Grand Budapest has charm, it has wit, it is one of the greatest written films in 2014.
All right, Cody.
Sorry, give me a second while I take my mouth off the floor before I punch. Guardians of the Galaxy is one of the biggest surprises in cinema in the past years. It could be a ripoff, but this is a project that shouldn't have worked against the MCU. It was such off the box that music literally played its own character as a part of a character in that ensemble with Bradley Cooper, with Chris Pratt, with Batista. All these characters everybody is upset with Volume 2. It doesn't
That's
make
time.
the same standard.
All right, Brooklyn, your rebuttal.
Groot's performance isn't as great if you take away Vin Diesel, because Vin Diesel is a badass. You take away Guardians of the Galaxy from the MCU entirely, and it is not as acclaimed film as everybody claims it to be. With the Grand Budapest Hotel, you get the great story of Zero, how he goes from a lava boy to how he runs the hotel, and the journey of the murder and the mystery of who killed Gilday.
Cody, for the championship.
Wes Anderson is such an acquired taste. It's not for everybody. That movie does not meet numerous people for that same fact. It has two really standout characters. Guardians has an entire team that works so well together, so cohesive, that if you take a single piece away, it does not work. MCU just elevates it. It makes it a perfect space opera.
Time. Woo! I think both those movies rule.
Yeah, I do. I do too.
They're both great.
All right, so you know what? Let's hear from the one guy we haven't heard from. Malcolm, what do you think?
Yeah, this was really tough. I mean, both argued spectacularly, but I think what gave it to me is I'm giving the slight edge to Cody when because he got a few good hits, like whether it's was when he said about Guardians shouldn't have worked in the first place, and also the fact that Wes Anderson's an acquired taste, that not many people go for it. So I think Cody, just by a very slight edge, gets the point.
Okay. That's the first in favor of Cody. So I'm going to go ahead and go because screw you guys. I don't want to be the deciding vote. I'm giving it to Cody. Cody was arguing the movie. He was arguing why Guardians of the Galaxy was an amazing ensemble film. He was arguing why it was like a better film all around. And I feel like Brooklyn was just kind of pinning down things that were great about Grand Budapest Hotel, but he wasn't pinning down things that made it better than Guardians of the Galaxy. He was just saying it's a great film, and it is a great film. But he was like, he took a couple pot shots, but not enough to make it count for me. So I'm giving it to Cody. All right, Kearns, you could decide it.
Can we go back to the two-person format? Where you just have to do two?
This is hard. Because you guys, this was I'm glad this was the championship fight. I think I just have to give it to Cody just based on the fact that his rebuttal to honestly, no. I thought Brooklyn was gonna win it with the things he said about how if it wasn't in the MCU, if you didn't have Vin Diesel, but then Cody was able to come back and he was able to fight that. So I have to give it to Cody.
It's happened. The new champion, Mr. Cody Newberry. He swept him. But Chance, what would you have voted? How would you have voted?
What was the phrasing of the question again?
Two important ensemble films were released in the year 2014. Grand Budapest Hotel and Guardians of the Galaxy. Which was a better film?
I would have given it to Brooklyn. Brooklyn.
Okay.
I'm still looking at my notes. Brooklyn got more hits on Guardians of the Galaxy. The only hit that Cody got on Brooklyn movie was that Wes Anderson's an acquired taste.
Only two characters you remember too.
Okay. So it would have been 3-1. And then Sandy, how would you have voted?
I would have voted for Brooklyn in this one as well. Just I think that the argument that Brooklyn made was a little better than Cody's. I think Cody, didn't have as good a rebuttal as Brooklyn did, but mine actually doesn't matter. So congrats, champ.
So it would have come down to the last person had I called on Sandy and Chance first.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
What a battle.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hooray.
Brooklyn is silent.
Yeah, I guess I have to go back to my hosting duties as the new Late Night with Take 3 and Mini Speedrun Debate Champion of the Worldwide Movie Games Network Federation of America. Go fuck yourself, Cody. How do you feel as
Listen
champion?
here, brother. First name Macho, last name Mate. Check the boots, brother. No. Again, Brooklyn. I've said this before. You can literally take Kearns' title around. You were champion once, but you literally can't beat me in a final round. No. This is actually the facts. Because debating as a true art form. Anybody, I like it better. I like it better than trivia at times. Just because if you know that movie, you've seen that movie, you can pull that, right? But I think if you can fight for what you were passionate about, that has a special spot. And I honestly would have, if you take me out of the equation and you use somebody else's argument, I would give Brooklyn the point. Because, for the simple fact, Brooklyn battled against me harder in the opening than I did, even though I think his Star Trek and Star Wars thing was a weak-ass line, and that's just overused. But I would have given it because you attacked me more. But my two arguments that I did use was that you remember two main characters from Budapest instead of the entire ensemble for me, and Wes Anderson's Choir Case, which was last shit. But I'm the champion, the double champion, doesn't apologize for nothing. No,
I wish there is a point that I wish that I brought up, as soon as you finish the rebuttal, I wish I brought up that Guardians of the Galaxy is essentially a nostalgia circle jerk. With the soundtrack. But yeah, Cody.
It's fun. I love debate. I can't believe a big Chance. That's really, truthfully, I think Chance is one of those people that's played in Battleground that I respect so much because he's so good at describing why he likes film and why it's, important. But truth be told, I'm glad that you included Malcolm in that last vote because that was very nice of you. Because that was a tie, and I'm glad that Matt does. I love Matthew Russo.
I could have lost to anybody else on this panel, and I wouldn't be as pissed off as I am right now because I lost to Cody fucking Red Sox piece of shit Newberry.
The funny thing is, you took my title, but you didn't take it from me. I lost in the first round, so that's even better.
And who did you lose to?
I lost to freaking Hulk Hogan and John Cena for being shitty ass.
And who successfully debated that against you? Because I have beat you in the third round, so that belt is coming back to this guy.
You've never beat me in the third round, but the only person that successfully beat me in this right now is Sandy the Sandman Robinson.
Can I just point something out? I've only ever lost one of these, and
I was a 5-time defending champ. So get off my.
And I stepped out. So
congratulations.
Yeah.
Maybe I should be back.
Unfortunately, when you leave and you go away and you don't ever come back, it's one of those things where you sit back and you're
I got off work early enough to be here to beat Brooklyn.
I am. Yeah, you also have the chat's votes.
Yeah, it was.
As the cool guy says, kick Brooklyn's ass, Cody. # not my champion. Both talked more about the movies than the actual cast, but Cody had the great knock on how Grand Budapest Hotel focuses mainly on two people, which I disagree about entirely. Yeah. I don't understand the hate for me, but sure, Aiden's gonna hate.
Because they're all part of my petition that I've got people inside.
How many Kate?
#4.8.
Just out of curiosity, how many signatures do you have on that petition?
We're up to 26, and one old lady doesn't know what she signed, but she signed it, so I take that.
How many?
27.
And now you know how Trump
Let me
won
go
the
on the
election.
record and say that if Cody had been in the heads up, he would have beaten me. #4.8.
4.8.
Now, out of those 27 signatures, how many of those are your mom and your wife?
My wife actually is a fan of yours, so she can't actually vote. She thinks you're the only person that puts me in my place, so she actually votes for you.
My heart a little mystery.
And that's why I am locking her outside, because she can't come back to my house.
Oh, cool. So I do have a fan in the chat. Cameron says, Brooklyn, I would like to officially state that I like you more than Cody. Dear Diary, dreams do come true.
Who's Cameron? Because guess what?
Cameron Holzman.
Yeah. Cameron Holzman, question writer for Full Metal.
Oh, he is? Nice.
Smell
is
like,
he? When
you
did that
smell like
happen?
sauerkraut.
He's been writing for Jeremy for a couple matches now, so I'm doing a good job with him. Yeah.
Nice.
Did not know that.
I take
All right,
back
guys,
the
so we
sauerkraut
have-
line, but I don't.
We have surpassed the 2-hour mark, although my laptop did crash in the middle of this. Oh, look at me, Cody. I can also put my arms up in the air. That meme is so old. Oh, my God. Man, must be nice to be a one-trick pony.
Should be nice to
All right.
hold your belt for a title against paper champion.
And the beats go on, and the beats go on.
You are lucky because I brought Nico on.
I'm
Because
a
he's-
five.
I will say this. I will say this. I will say this before we get into the ends. We know. I will say this right now. Brooklyn, I think you made a huge mistake by swindling this group of people into making sure that you didn't have to battle until the very end. If you'd had gotten warm up on the first couple of matches, you might have been able to pull that one out at the end. I'm just saying as a casual observer. So remember that, Cody. You might not want to, fight for.
I actually like warming up and going through, so I don't need championship advantage like somebody else, and it proves that Brooklyn didn't need it either because it didn't work out for him.
All right. Well, thankfully, I do not have to know about next week, as with the release of the Halloween, the remake of Halloween, we are be discussing our favorite horror franchises. I know Cody is a huge horror. No, he isn't a huge horror fan. So he's gonna have to do some actual work this time, and not get hand fed his wins here.
Brooklyn,
What?
I hate horror movies. What are you doing to me?
Oh,
You know who loves horror movies?
I can understand doing it to Cody, but me, dude.
You know who loves horror movies and wants to come back?
I think this is just take 3. Is that right? Take 3. Can we just take this take 3?
Just take 3. Oh, I see how it is.
Pulling the Take 3 card, and he is the youngest member of Take 3. All right, we need to do plugs because this has been going on for forever. We'll probably do this later on Twitch. To the current 3-time Late Night with Take 3 mini speed round debate champion of the Worldwide Movie Game Network Association of America, Cody Newberry. Where can the cool kids of the world find you?
I'm the 2-time champion. I don't plan on losing this time, so get your fact right. Math's weird in Canada, I bet. But you can find me at Cody Newberry on Facebook. You can find me on Watch Alongs with Take 3. Of course, Linus has not made his choice, so I have. We're doing The Departed, and the week after we're doing Spider-Man 2. You can find me here on Late Night with Take 3, kicking Brooklyn's ass. Super big fan of Matt Kearns, Malcolm, and Sandy. That's normally the panel that we have. You can find on Fridays coming soon. We're doing Full Metal Geek. It's me, Robert Parker, and RJ. We're pretty much like the crew running that over there. Right. Next is dropping tomorrow, so check out for those. You can find me on a Sports Battlefield match coming up soon. I'm facing Lucas Schilbach. That masshole, I'm going to beat him to the ground like I beat Matthew Rosa. And you can find me as the Green Monster sitting in the corner on Rankem from time to time and telling everybody where they're incorrect and where they're wrong on everything they do.
And time.
I love how Brooklyn says we're over
getting
time, and Cody takes an hour to do all of his plugs.
I
I
mean,
got 70 matches coming up.
Did you go to the Nico school about how to plug things?
Nico has a Bible, okay?
Yeah. I'm the champion.
To the news presenter, I want to thank him for bringing on Vinny today to bring on the news. He is the bridesmaid, Matt Kearns. Where can the cool kids of the world find you?
You're such an asshole, Brooklyn. I'm glad I didn't vote for you. You guys, as always, can find me at Kearns_Matthew on Twitter, MattMoose611 YouTube, and right here as co-host of Rhyme and Reason with Sandy Robinson. You can also find me on the Schmodown Summit. You won't find me on the Take 3 live show for the next couple weeks. I just got some stuff I got to deal with, so who knows when I come back. I might come back just as a question writer because I like seeing Cody get screwed over in the first round. Who knows?
To fellow Take 3 member, he saved my ass with the save in the stream, Malcolm Goldie Lay. Where can the cool kids of the world find you?
Before I get into my plugs, I'm just going to say that the cool guy in the chat says Brooklyn is a monster. No one has the right to do that to Sandy. But as for
Thank you, cool guy.
As for we can find me on Take 3 where I host my show Rankum. Next week we're doing movies that are set on Halloween. And also you can find me in Multiplex and Full Metal doing a bunch of matches. I've got a whole lot coming up. I'm not going to list them all. You can also find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Stardust at Melkor.
All right. To the fellow Canadian, the coolest guy in Calgary, or coolest guy in Alberta, I guess, and not quite Calgary. Sandy the Sandman Robinson. Where can the cool kids of the world find you?
You can find me all over the interwebs, guys. I'm here in Full Metal singles and teams. I am with Matt Kearns, my buddy in Rhyme and Reason, every Saturday. New episode dropping soon. I am on Take 3 on Late Night with Take 3 most nights. Watch-alongs if they were watching a good movie. And other than that, you can find me on Twitter and on Facebook at srobinson1799. Thanks so much for having me again.
Question writer and master debater extraordinaire, Matthew Rosa. Where can the cool kids of the world find you?
You can find me on Twitter at OTOYT Music. You can find me on most other social media platforms at On the Tip of Your Tongue. You can find me as one of the 4 lovely hosts of the Schmodown Trivia Schmodown on the Collider Podcast Network. I am the head writer over on Jukebox Trivia, and you can find me beating Michael Campbell so that I can then play against Cody again in Cody Matt 2 to find out who is the #1 contender for the Swartz Battlefield title.
Yeah. And to our special guest today, thanks for coming on once again, Chance Allison. Where can the cool kids of the world find you?
Oh, lots of stuff. You can find me Twitter, Instagram at ChanceWars_91. You can follow my personal YouTube channel, Chance the Critic. I'm trying to get back into video making. I took a little hiatus, but getting back into it. You can check out my podcast. I do my buddy Russell Howe, Notorious by Chance, and we're about to announce the launch of a new show we're doing. Rosa knows what's up. He's gonna be part of it at the beginning. And yeah, just watch the Schmodown. My match with Mike against Eking in the Brain is up right now, and I got word today that our match against the Founding Fathers will be up October 26th.
Nice.
And last but definitely not least, I'm the Black Lantern Brooklyn Vale. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at TheRealBK10. Those are the numbers, not the words. You can also find me on Take 3 Productions, running not 1 but 2 shows. On Mondays, I do Jukebox Trivia. We do various music trivia, debates, playlists. It'll probably be a trivia match of some sort. I can't guarantee the championship match, but it'll be something along those lines as people drop out like flies. And then you can find me on the late night show right here, Take 3 Productions. Be sure to check us out next week as we discuss our favorite horror franchises. Then you can find me in the various trivia leagues, rank them.
Just making it worse for Cody.
Cody, what?
Time.
Ah!
Did you go to the time?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, cool. All right, guys. I'm sure to like, comment, subscribe. If you think you can take on Cody, you can't. Cheers, guys. And as always, drive safely.
Drive unsafe.